But if you could just kind of let it roll off you.
I see the same, right?
It
Yeah.
amazed me
Yeah,
how
it's not.
it did.
It's not.
I would think the same.
Got 1 minute.
You'll be able to
3 seconds.
join.
Lynn, it's not live yet.
I signed in.
It's not having us join yet.
I'm,
Yeah,
We're not allowed to
I'm
join
logged
yet.
in.
mine's logged in, we just can't join the meeting.
Mine joined the
I'm
meeting.
joined.
I
Mine
logged
joined
into
the
the
meeting.
meeting a little bit ago.
Of course, I shut her computer on the way out by accident, so
Okay, let me
It's still just
close
saying
board
view.
docs.
might have something to do with it.
Yeah, mine says logged in, meeting.
Yeah, you're probably
I
logged in,
just
but
got
you haven't
uninvited.
joined
It
yet.
joined the meeting. I clicked on join meeting and
Oh,
joined
you
it.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, try it now. If you guys refresh, it should say,
Now it's working, Lynn.
let's refresh.
Sweet,
Just up here, right?
Wait a minute.
told
We'll
you.
make you go.
Yeah, you had to refresh it and then go back in and then redo it because you restarted everything.
He must think it's cold outside.
What?
Said he must think it's cold outside.
And then it just goes to here. It doesn't have the same. I don't have the black thing.
Oh, gosh.
Is everybody logged in?
Yes.
You all get all logged in?
You're doing,
Great.
did
I
you come up
just
to join the
did,
meeting?
so, okay.
Yeah, okay, now I'm good. I'm good.
Well, just a minute. Okay. To you, Christmas. Let me know when you're all ready. All righty, it is 7:31, and I will call this meeting to order. Please join for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Terry Wycombe,
Here?
Vice Mayor Steve Sanger,
Here.
Councilmember Darrell Gardner,
Here.
Councilmember Tanya Lumen,
Here.
Councilmember Bruce Seelaw,
Here.
Councilmember Jacqueline Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Chris Weisenberg.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, the next thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the November 7th, 2023 City Council agenda as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the November 7th, 2023 City Council agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Mayor, I do not have a vote.
Oh, yay.
Thank you.
I don't know why.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas. Thank you.
All right, next thing on our agenda is an executive session. Councilman Wells?
I move to go to executive session at 7:33 PM per Wyoming Statute 16-405 to consider or receive any information classified as confidential by law on matters concerning litigation to which the governing body is a party or proposed litigation to which the governing body may be a party.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to go into executive session at 7:33 PM. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
I got the weirdest screen. Here it is. Oh, no. Yay.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
Okay, thank you. I'm re-logging in just
That's what I was gonna say, you might have
I had to refresh mine and then I had to bring the meeting back up and rejoin it.
see what's. I don't know.
I'm fine.
That's not it either. I'll mess with it when I
How
come
long
back.
do you think they're gonna be? So how long are you gonna be?
If I do that, I'd be in Nevada making big bets.
Well, maybe I'll find a couch.
I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Can you come?
Certainly.
Oh, yeah, what you did. Yeah. Let's go.
Do you want to do it now? Do you have a minute?
I'm in trouble again, I gotta print
No,
this
I
out.
don't know.
We call Willie.
What is that?
Yeah, will he show up today? Will he
Oh,
come in?
oh,
Will he stay home? That's great. So I said, well, that's, I got him that says, I'm kind of a big deal.
Nice.
Kind of a big deal. D-I-L.
Oh, really?
And it's the shape of like a dill pickle.
Where'd you find that at?
On Amazon.
I was gonna say,
I
that
was
is
just going through, I was like,
oh, I gotta get
Boston's
that.
Day. Oh.
Nice. That is awesome.
Yeah, I was on there trying to look for cups that I can give my guys for Christmas. Custom. And I just put something together. It has the emblem,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, you know, in pride and service, Rawlins, Wyoming.
Okay.
And then underneath it, it says Public Works.
Cool.
28-ounce coffee mug tumbler. And for 20 of them, it was only like $210
You got this for the workers?
for everybody in Public Works.
How much was it?
210.
It's not bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. It has the emblem on it. Cool. And then underneath it says.
You didn't put a window? Yeah. Could've got you paid on it. That's so awesome.
And but I put it together and I got the emblem off the logo off there. So it was white. It's a royal blue mug. The emblem, when I sent it the emblem in red letters, just the line, outline
Mhm.
was red. You can clearly read where it says pride and service.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
And it, I mean, it turned out better than I thought it was going to.
Zazzle?
Huh?
Did you use Zazzle?
It was through Amazon and through, some discount company that the company's was Challenger. Come to find out, they're the ones that make a lot of the mugs, the coffee mugs that Walmart sells.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a Yeti,
Mhm.
it's nothing expensive. Suppose that either it's gonna be less or, and it turned out
Really
way
good. That's
better
nice.
than I thought.
That's what I like with all of our clothing now. Bear Creek does such a good job. I don't wanna mess with anybody else, you know.
So-
they do.
And they're in Wyoming.
I know. And by the way, their prices are very fair, you know?
And since it was for public works, like the streets, utilities, water, he's like, yeah, I'll get it on that. I'm like, oh, 210 just went down to 105. And then Stevie got involved and she goes, I'll pay, I'll put in for it. I'm like, well, that 105 just went down to 70.
Yeah, nice.
I like her. She strikes me as a tough and confident person.
I tell you what, she has no problem speaking her mind
No,
if she needs to.
I like her.
Exactly.
Yeah, she doesn't like me sometimes. It's like, "Nope, not gonna happen." But I mean, for the most part, we work together.
Did Ariel call you today about that trailer?
Trailer.
She was out doing, she had like 5 or 6 pressure tests, and she said she came up to a trailer, and it looked like they were leaking sewage out of it.
Oh, yeah, she,
Okay. And I was like,
out
that's.
of Green Acres.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And I told her, I said, I don't know an ordinance or anything. I said, that is a health issue.
It is.
And that's all private. That the sewer lines that are in Green Acres is all private until it gets to the main on Murray.
Okay. But still, I know for an environmental, you cannot have any type of waste products and that stuff, regardless if it's private land or not.
Right.
Okay, but like you said, it doesn't affect you from having to do any type of fixing.
Right.
I think she was just concerned.
So
whether or not-
when I first started, I got yelled at because they called the people that were taking care of it before.
Mhm.
I think it was Sage Creek Realty or whatever,
Okay.
and they had sewer backing up. And they called the plumber. Plumber went out and said, it's in the main.
Another one of those, huh?
And then they called us, and we're like, yeah, it's not our main, it's the main of the park.
Right.
And
Okay.
they got mad at us, and I got yelled at, and I'm like, sorry.
It's
If
private.
if I run that sewer jet in your sewer line, and something happens,
Then you're responsible.
then
for
I'm
it.
liable.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, I go, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You may not like it, but it's gonna be the truth.
Mhm. Like I said, when you came down and then you did the camera in mine, I'm like, yep, you're 110% right, that's exactly where it's at.
And so we kind of have to move up 3 times within a short period of time, we'll run the camera.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's an expensive camera. You know,
Yes.
just that lens was $20,000. Even though it's out of date now, we're trying to get a new one.
Mhm. Well, I tell you what, it showed exactly what it needed to show, though.
And you were livid, you were calm, but you were livid. You had that, I need answers. Somebody's,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I'm like, come on now.
and which I can completely understand, it's,
Yeah,
plumber says it's you, you're saying it's the plumber.
let's look.
Somebody,
Wow, speaking of.
We like it better that way, but.
she's like,
Glad
you
you
say her
did.
name 3
Yeah,
times,
she
she
just
shows up.
What are you talking about? You talked about me, clearly. What was it? Anything good? Bad?
It's all good.
It was bad.
But yeah, she did bring that up. She also told me about her issue.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know, it's.
And then she was explaining to me that they quoted her $12,000 10-foot, 4-foot sewer line,
Yeah.
10 foot long, is like $25.
Yeah, just to replace that area that's either clogged or to get that.
So, that Orangeburg,
Yeah.
and the thing is she can do it in 2 sections, do just her yard up to the sidewalk, and then when she saves up enough money, do another day. I even told her, I said, when you're ready, I go, I'm digging for you. I know I'm gonna try to, I go, I'm not
Sorry, executive session.
I said, it'll give me something to do.
Yeah, that's cool. She did say that you offered to give her a hand. I said,
This is
"That's
the
my
first time
guy, man."
So,
Yeah, because usually it's like somewhere like close to the end, isn't
it's
it?
at the.
It's always at the end, yeah.
They just said they wanted it beforehand.
I can tell you exactly.
Who they getting rid of?
So they wanted to sit here and pay $225 an hour for people.
So you're still gonna have to be one representing here.
Hmm?
You're still gonna get.
You know what? But I can't. I did ask this. I already had two.
No.
It's
No,
12
she-
hours. That's what I didn't understand.
No, she only asked the police officer.
Whatever, 10 hours ago.
There's
Fine.
just some, there's some.
No, she only brought that up to the police officer.
Totally
There's no-
Totally.
Did you bring her award? I think it would be illegal if she didn't.
Do you want me to? Yes.
It would have been nice to show everybody.
Do you, where is it? At home? How far away is home? I mean, most places are close. Like
5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. Could you go get it for us?
Apparently, I have time. I think we'll have plenty of time.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Thank you so much. It would be good for pictures and,
Yes.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Said there's donuts.
There's just a couple.
Carly won't be able to be here tonight.
Oh,
She's not feeling well.
It's gonna be no donuts there, police officer.
Go get them, man.
I will share. It's appropriate that we get offered first, but it's also appropriate that we offer them to everybody
It
else
is
after
true,
that
you should get,
happens.
you should get off it first, I agree.
Yeah, they're in there, just.
No.
Come on, no, seriously, because
Sometimes we have to throw away.
yeah, we will,
We already had ours.
yes.
Oh, I had Mavericks.
What'd you have?
2 hot dogs and pizza.
Better
Or a
than
slice
inside,
of
did
pizza.
You know how hard it was?
No, they didn't have that much hot dogs.
That's all, our new guy, Chris Von Wava, he raised them for like.
Stop.
Jalapeno
The hot dogs are,
Okay.
2 for $6. And I mean, they're big hot dogs.
They
And
have-
you have to.
They have jalapenos in there.
some
There's
have
one
cheese,
that does, yeah.
There's one that has jalapenos and some else. The burritos are pretty good too.
Yep.
This is the Wyoming version of lobster roll.
Oh.
They ran out of burritos today though.
Did they
Because
really?
at lunchtime they were gone.
Cause I'm telling you, man, they make a bunch of them.
Somebody was telling me that across the street at the comic gallery, gas is 10 cents a gallon cheaper, yet it's empty and everybody's at the Maverick.
It's,
I
they were, today they were
have to write the
They were
time
4
down.
cents, Maverick was 4 cents cheaper.
But they kicked you out already? Did. Oh my goodness.
But the hot dog buns, they make it
Okay,
right.
thank you. Let me just put that
They
down.
make it there every.
And that's all set?
What's
So the
That's
hot
all
dog
set,
buns
'cause I
are
can-
like shipped in frozen.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they make the hot dog buns and the pizza,
Yes.
they make the pizza, cut it and sell it by the slice. And they don't skimp on the meat, on the pizza either.
Yeah, they were.
They go
Is it a
with
full pizza or just little?
No, it's like a,
Or small?
Just a
the
small-
size of like a, think of a Domino's pizza,
Okay.
regular size.
I will
Take
take care
two
of
of those
that.
together is one slice over there.
Do they sell it by the slice? or
And I
is it
did,
like a
add
ready-
something.
Do they make all
Put it in your chair
Yeah, and then they cut it up and then
What if
they
you could buy
sell
a whole
it.
that you were looking for.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sure you can. And they have the good ice.
What does that mean? Is it frozen?
You know, the nugget, not the solid ice cubes, it's the nugget ice,
Crushed ice?
the kind of crushed ice.
Okay.
And it's roomy in there. There's a lot of room.
Yeah, you could tell you.
it's just good ice.
You're a simple man, Mike. But you know what you want.
See, I know what I like.
But yeah, whatever, you know, I did the math. Or, I mean, full length wise, it's probably a good 80 feet from our house to where her line probably hits the sewer line.
Mhm. But the point is, if there's only one spot in there, that's of course flared out.
But even if it was 100 foot, you figure that's 250 feet, or $250 to $300 for the pipe. $300 a day for
Hit the rim, the backhoe.
the backhoe. Yeah. That wouldn't look good for a city backhoe, is it?
No. But you know, I just don't understand, because I told her too, I said, it wasn't your fault that they, you
No,
know,
so-
crossed.
So they're in a spot, but, I mean, if it's Orangeburg all the way to the main, it can be done with less than $5,000.
Mhm.
But they were gonna charge her
Oh,
$12,000.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Then, on the, I was looking at Board Docs the other day, it's not on the schedule. You had put down the next
And
police commission
since
meeting,
she would be doing it, not,
Board Docs.
Mhm.
I mean, I would be doing it with her for her,
What's happening
and it's
Do you
not
remember
a
that, yeah,
contract
do you remember the
one.
date you did?
Mhm.
The 16th?
You don't need a master plumber.
Yeah, because you guys talked about it.
She's a
on my phone.
homeowner doing it herself.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it was something
There's-
about 5, and I put the time.
What is it? You
I think we also
work
talked
like
about the fact
I
that we
believe,
could go to
well,
6.
she would, you could do work as a
Yeah,
homeowner
but it
on
is
your own home.
Mhm.
No,
Because
so I
you
appreciate
can't
that.
sell the
Pretty
home.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
You have to live in the home for like 3 years.
I think it's very specific on what it is, but you can't do it all, you actually.
Right.
I bet you Jim has a good,
And then he-
But there is something,
There was something like, I thought it was
And then I
like
said-
plumbing or
Yeah,
anything
it's
or something like that.
specific work and not have a certified person do it that you're required to.
oh, I didn't know some.
Oh, look at this. You know, with us daylight savings time, and I feel like it's bedtime.
She would be doing it as a homeowner.
Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah, because it would be almost 9 o'clock.
Yes, and I'm usually in bed by 9. But you know, actually, I think
Yeah.
So it would.
the trouble I have going to sleep, I'd probably be wise just to stay up until I was so exhausted that I
Yeah,
went to
you just
sleep when I got to bed.
Already, yeah.
Do you have trouble doing that? Go to bed and sit there and, I mean, you would think when it's up to me, I'm 85, that I wouldn't have so many problems to solve when I go to bed.
No, I sit in one of those games on my phone and just,
Well, you know, that's just about what you have to do. It's like, I can remember in the past, being in my critical moments, it was something I would do and go up to the hospital and be with people during critical moments. And I'd come home so wired, or after a school board meeting, and I couldn't
your mind's
sleep.
just going.
Yeah, your mind's just going, so you gotta figure out some way to unwind. But I don't know, I've never really figured it out very well.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
And it would be really easy because there's no gas line lines in the back. All of that control is above. Her water line is on the other side of her.
Yeah, so you
The
basically.
walking path,
you're
so
just
that's
taking
just
out
sewer.
the dirt when you get,
Yeah.
yeah, into the sewer line, right?
We test drove one.
It is weird. She showed me her, where her water heater is. Where the water comes in from the front and then where it comes up in, from the basement to the house, the way it comes up and bends up towards the ear. And she goes, does that make sense to you? I go, well, it depends. The bathroom that's down there, if that water heater used to be on that back wall, then I can see the water line going over there, and then if they were to build that bathroom there, and move the water heater out, they, yeah, and if they move the water heater, then they.
Because that's what I was gonna ask you, why would anybody wanna move their water heater once it's in place, but I guess if you do an improvement.
If you're doing an
Yeah.
improvement.
Yeah, try to move this.
And I mean, it's an unfinished basement, but she doesn't have a bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's where you put your bathroom, because that's where the water line.
Now I, there's another house. So it's
Well,
the third of us.
for it to be, they just diverted it, and that's why it looks the way it does.
So I was looking around and there were very few out there because the chips probably chipped off. So I found one, she could pull it down in 6 hours. It was only like a half hour away.
But I've seen weirder things.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I was
So I
going
went
out
out there and I knew what I wanted. And I found one that had one I wanted, but it had more than I wanted.
Every time you do something, it's different.
So they told me,
Yeah, that's amazing.
bullshit tells me, what it says on the sticker is the price for negotiation.
I have it in my office. I have
So I
a
called up
shelf
some
that
other
has all kinds of things that we found digging up.
Whatever it says is.
The latest one is I don't know if that's a horse bow or a cow bow,
Oh, I wasn't sure.
So,
but it was 10 foot in the ground. It was just, part of it was sticking out of in the ground when we made the unit.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Is it a doable? No.
We did dig up the skull and get it from the cemetery though.
Oh, I thought it was a 14.
That happens a
Things
lot.
seem to be pretty smooth these days.
They're getting better.
Well, it doesn't seem to, I mean, I know, may not be nice for some people, but if everything's going well and clicking along like it should be done.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you don't really, and I almost hesitate bringing what I'm bringing to the council. I've thought about it, so I can give you, I was gonna give you a handout, give you a little heads up. You know where the Mennonite church is?
Yes.
Okay, well, see, I've been out in that area since 1966, so we had dirt roads. And I was delivering newspapers, I was distributing them. My husband hadn't been teaching too many years, we didn't have money, so that's what I did to make money. Well, one of the gentlemen that lived in the neighborhood, he also did the same. He did it for one paper and I did it for a different. And he met me the first place. And he said, I want to show you how to get through this mess when the snow starts drifting. And we went right up, almost next door to.
Yeah, 757.
PPL, which is walking up tower. And county corner across what would be the vacant lot in the back of the Mennonite church, up to California Street. And then I could drop down onto Larson where I lived. And this guy lived in California. And, I didn't even have a four-wheel drive, but I had an old Suburban to deliver those papers. But you couldn't even hardly get on Nevada Street. Well, there's a gentleman out there who parks all of his extra stuff over there on the east side of the street, and it makes even a bigger problem than what it needs to be. And he has a garage. I mean, he's got a large, one of those great big ones. He has double things, his front feet, and he has place in the back. And he has so much stuff, he puts it across the street. And then, to add insult to injury, he and his neighbor push all their snow over there on that east side, and so we have this nice little snow fence which deposits even more across there. It's a mess. And since it's a snow route, and I talked to the Mennonites a little bit about it. Well, I don't know how much you know about their religion, but they would not come to the city council. They wouldn't come and file a complaint. They would just figure out how to deal with it. So I was talking to him about it. Well, they have their own lot for the parking and where the kids play for recess. But last winter, when it was so bad, they had a horrible time driving their kids into the lot and keeping it open to get to school. So what I'm wanting is for them, just for the city, when during the winter, just to say no snow over there and no parking on just that block from, what, November to whatever, you know, just as a sort of like a partial snow route or something. No, that's kind of what I'm looking at, because I've talked to a whole lot of the neighbors, and some of them had some confrontations with this gentleman. I didn't even try to go there. I just thought about, well, how could it be, rather than ask the whole street to be closed, you know, on both sides, maybe just the one side, because it's so big, that maybe that would, if nobody pushed snow over there and nobody parked their stuff there, maybe it could be kept open much more readily. And that, and I think it's a simple request, but I don't know that the gentleman will agree. You know, he's a nice enough guy. And he reminds me of my son. They just keep getting junk and more junk and no place to put it. Toys. I shouldn't call it junk because they're treasures.
Somebody's treasure.
Well, and you know, it seems, I don't know how people afford it now. We certainly couldn't when we were a young couple. But everybody has snowmobiles, motorcycles, trailers, utility trailers, trailers to put their snowmobiles in, camping trailers. I mean, I don't know how they afford it. They must be in debt up to their ears. Yeah, well, that may be. But the other issue I'd already mentioned to her, and I'm sure she mentioned to you, and I bring it to them because it seems like some of the council people are pretty adept at finding extra money or sweet talking the city, the state. And somebody needs to solve that problem about that frontage road and that access in front of BLM and Rocky Mountain Power. It's just a skinny little street, and then you had to dig it up last winter. Well, it's never gotten fixed very well, but I even hate to make an issue of it, because unless you get some curbs and gutters in there, you're just throwing money away on it. But it's just a nightmare. When you look at that beautiful addition with those big wide streets, and then the access to it over there, it's just a skinny little thing. You know, and we've tried in the past, probably for 40 years, to try to talk to the state, because they don't want to be paying for curb and guttering over there. And those businesses, we can't force the federal government to, and you can't seem to apparently force the business to, so I don't know if there's any solution. But I don't know if there was money to be found, maybe it could just be done.
Yeah, we'd have to find the funds.
Yeah, I don't know, it's, and you know, I was talking to some of my neighbors, do you know how many widows we have up in that neighborhood now? About 6 of us.
Really?
Yeah, you get Mrs. Grauman, Mrs. Whitfield, myself, Mrs. King, Mrs. Weber. I think Mrs. Weber might have gone to the nursing home. Carrie Stepner is not a widow, but her husband is in the nursing home in Laramie. So we have a couple of older guys that are about ready to retire that help us all out. But, you know, I have a truck in addition to my car. So if it's really bad, I can get out, but some of these don't have that luxury. No, I know. You know, but, you know, I was talking to Carrie Stepner this evening, and she was saying, you know, the Mennonites are such a wonderful addition to our community, and they keep their property up, but these kids are right there, and here people want to shove all their junk into their lot. Or park right there along in their lot, and it's just, but they won't say anything. They will not, because they are like, when I was visiting with a guy, He said, "Oh, Mrs. Parsons, thank you so much for caring about us. We just try to make do or find a solution peacefully." Yeah, you know, but he said, "Thank you for thinking of us," and I said, "Well, you know, I don't know, but maybe there's something we can figure out." So,
Here for your leisure.
yeah.
I'll go get a better,
Actually, you know, Steve talked to me years ago about all that stuff on the streets. And I said, "Oh, like in our neighborhood, we got these great big long streets, big streets, and it's no problem." He said, "Barbara, open your eyes." He said, "It just is so unattractive that all this stuff is stored on the street." So I said, "Okay, I'll look." So I started looking around, and I said, "You know, by gosh, you're right, there's some of the neighbors in our street that, you know, they think that that's what the street's for them to store their stuff." Yeah, and they can't afford to pay for storage somewhere, but they can afford to get all these toys. So I'm just like, but I know, because I listened, that it got to be extremely contentious. And one of the city council people even said, that street in front of my house on both sides, it was a corner lot. That's mine. And somebody tried to tell him otherwise, and he is absolutely convinced it's his. And you know, all of the ordinances in the world, all these people really do believe that the street in front of them is theirs. Until they have to clean the weeds.
it's true.
I don't know, I don't envy anybody, but I don't know. His neighbor next to me said, "Well, I have told the guys, don't push that snow over there. You can come down here to the rectangular lot, which he owns." He says, "Then push it onto it, because it's not gonna hurt a thing. I've got plenty of room there, so push it there." But they don't listen. So I don't know. Yeah, they shove it over there to the west, and there comes the wind. You'd have to, when we were first up there weren't hardly any houses, and I swear to God, you never knew where the wind was coming from. It would come from the southwest, and then it would make these big old swirls. And until I planted a veg and got some windbreaks up, I couldn't even do a garden. And now I can plant zone 5 plants. Well, it helped that I got a house next door and they put a fence up. Yeah, but my hedge got, way high, and I added some other things. But it was a very formidable environment, to say the least. Yeah. And you can pave the streets, but that doesn't make the drifting stop. No, if you've got a certain landscape, it's just gonna happen. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I try not to be too contentious anymore. It's a really hard thing. Yeah, my daughter said to me, "Mother," well, she and her husband ran True Value for years, and they just retired about 4 years or so ago. And she used to, I know I was a huge embarrassment to them. Somebody come in and say, "Well, I hear your mother's thinks this."
Because like I said, express your opinion.
Mom, can't you just keep quiet?
Golf course lease numbers, amortization schedule.
The immunization, it's on,
Is that on my
Oh, really?
desk?
Yeah, it's
do you need, it's on red?
years, there's
Do you want the?
Or see if it's still on my desk, because
three of them have this one, one's like, they call it a cricket. Like, is that like a
Oh,
noisy
yeah,
cricket?
no, those are like little, kids versus.
So, there's a cricket, there's two of them, one, it's one. What is that? The first price done, what is that rifle worth, 300?
Hold on, it's an odd name, I can't remember what it was, but
It's like worth three grand.
I know that 2,200, I think it is.
Somewhere on
They
there.
have guys on treatment too, because they're like obsessive about grab a couple trying to get the cricket, but the other.
And then, so the party won the third place. The fourth place is a full four. The fifth place is $500.
We got the tickets not too long ago.
At Walmart.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to bring it up today.
So, I mean, and you know, the more you try, the more
So,
you win the first
Definitely.
two.
There's
Come
four
by
different
Thursday,
parties.
the guys
Excuse me,
that
guys.
It's $25 a ticket.
gun tickets, and I'll grab a couple from you.
First one is a 300.
I've been
and it's
thinking about
some-
getting ready.
I've never even heard of the name, but the boys told me it's a very expensive, very expensive gun. I said, okay, I didn't even.
I mean, I have a decent rifle.
No, but they give us a very nice price on it.
I'm the type that would get that
I
and
wish it had been donated.
See, I don't
But the
play,
second
I've
one
got-
is
I could
a
use a
9 mil.
shotgun, and I need like a little 22.
Third one is like a 22
But
rifle.
I've got my
One is a
270,
$500
and
ticket to
special.
Walmart.
I like my.
yeah, if you have a 7mm. You know, it's a rifle.
Yeah, I don't care.
Gun,
They're saying buy it.
Because
They're
I mean,
they're giving them a
I'm not gonna
prize
get
for
shot
the person who
trying
sells them.
to choose which one I'm gonna have.
I know, I don't.
And I don't wanna have more in the house to give them the opportunity to grab one.
But,
So if I win,
yeah.
I'll
I bought
I'll
4
probably put it out there and go make me an
They're like,
offer.
we can buy our own raffle tickets. I said, nobody in the fire department's doing the drawing. We're gonna have Tom do the drawing. So if that's the case, why shouldn't I be able to buy a ticket? You know? Now, if I'm doing the drawing and I buy the ticket, I pull my name, there might be an issue. You know?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but, so we're having somebody not even associated with the department do the drawing.
Did you and
so.
Walter touch base?
Yeah, he called me, and so, can we do it later today?
December
Later today?
13th, I think it is.
Because he asked about tomorrow morning, I'm like, no, they're gonna be digging,
Mhm.
and I don't know how long that's gonna be. So we set it up to where it's gonna be Thursday.
Okay, good. I know, you both were like, what about this? I'm like, I don't know your guys' schedule. I think all of it sounds good, but it's not my stuff. So, I don't know.
I realized when you asked me about that, I'm like, no.
I know, then you're like, oh, Thursday, and I'm like, just, he's gonna call. Go ahead.
No, but when you first
Yeah.
called, can you
Yeah.
meet him down there at 1:30? And I'm like, we're busy.
I know.
And after I did that, I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't do that because she's gonna actually call and we're not gonna be able to do something.
Yeah.
And she's gonna think I'm joking.
Yeah, I won't believe you. And I'm like, and we're putting that hydrant in tomorrow. We got the hot tub done today.
Yeah, we,
What hydrant?
The wells,
Huh?
it's on the wells, we're using it for a blow off for the wells.
Oh,
Yeah, because the valve that we usually use to discharge the wells before we turn them on and
Mhm.
shut them down, the valve broke and it's like 20 foot deep and it's
Oh.
it's an engineered dig,
yeah.
so we're just.
speaking of hydrants,
Okay, yeah.
that hydrant on Cedar Street that they couldn't get the 4-inch port off.
Yes.
And Chevy's like, we bent a valve wrench and then they broke something else. We couldn't get it off. Robert and I went there and got it off within like 20 minutes. And they're like, no, like, what'd you do? Sprayed WD-40 on it.
We don't have 20 minutes, when there's a nasty fireball in our face, all right? That's supposed to come off of there in like 15 seconds.
I
Anyway,
do still want to
They
order.
did bend the hydrant. They came up and said, we gotta replace it. I'm like, idiots.
But yeah,
Should be standing on a hydrant.
so it was a little bit rusty and it also had paint.
That'll
And
do it.
I go, we didn't paint the hydrants, so that wasn't on us. But yeah, when we got it off, we cleaned out the threads on both sides and just
Okay.
put it on there snug. We didn't
Yeah,
tighten it.
right.
But I let them know, beat the hell out of that cap. If it breaks, we have more at the sewer shop that we can just replace. So, I mean, as they're trying to, I'm not saying spend 20 minutes, like, you know,
Yeah.
I understand that, but I mean, get that sledgehammer and hit the sides of that.
But that is
that
why
cap.
our guys are supposed to be, well, like I said, I mean, I know we go in certain
Right.
sectors and that kind of stuff. But
And
that's
I
why,
also,
yeah.
I also, plan on, when they give me the okay, to buy more of those, quick,
Quick, Nick, yeah, yeah.
and eventually.
How many did we have, 20, 25? Did you get the first round?
Yeah, we got all of those put on,
Yeah.
except for one or two that's missing the little Allen wrench to help secure it on there. Every time I go to Ace Hardware or anywhere, that's the one size that they're missing.
You have to order, because they're always out of the ones you.
They're little tiny ones, they have all the other ones,
Oh, or do Amazon. We've been getting stuff from Amazon too,
so,
like our airline fittings and stuff that they're always out of.
and when we took them out of the box, I mean, we had handfuls, because they, you know, the vibration through
Mhm.
the shipping, they were all at the bottom of the box, and I'm like picking them all up, but there were a couple that were missing.
Right.
But I would like to, like I said, when they give me the ability to order more. Or,
And then,
Yeah.
but I'd like to put some on along Cedar,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot more downtown and not, unfortunately, not so much residential areas.
Now,
Just
you're looking
though
for
the residential,
industrial,
yeah, the
commercial, yeah.
residentials would be the last
Yep.
set to go
I agree.
through.
Have you just talked about, different connections for the hydrants?
No, there's,
Well, yeah, it is. It's basically, well, go ahead. You can explain.
so, on the hydrants, you know, it has the screw. Well, they have ones that are, quick connect with their 4-inch line, just pops on there and you turn and it snaps on and they're not sitting there trying to tighten it,
Yeah,
it's on.
like those lock ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the other reason why, as far as the residentials, a lot of the residentials up here,
Only
They're all-
have 2.5 inch.
they're 2 ports,
Yeah, I
and
know.
they're on 4-inch lines.
Right.
The same thing with up there in El Rancho area,
Mm-hmm.
La Paloma.
I was surprised when I didn't see the 4.5 inch.
I gotta ask, I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's right.
But who freaking died out of McCarty County? What happened with it? There was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ooh.
Somebody know?
Somebody was a natural death in their camper a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about, that was a while ago, yeah, that
Yeah,
was,
I was like, I was waiting
Yeah.
for something to come.
I
out.
thought it was like, you were talking like, what did you do? Yeah.
We also might be alive.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Join the fire department, then you'll know.
No, I don't want to.
See,
No, I don't
I
want
tried.
to. No.
I tried.
I could like you, but I don't want to. I don't want to like you either.
Oh my
That want
goodness,
you is,
okay.
I don't, for lying. So, yeah. no.
I was so close on getting Braxton to join. Till his fiance graduated from nursing school and says, yeah, we're leaving.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a shame.
Who's this?
Braxton, I can never heard her name.
Langenberger,
Yeah.
I can never say his name.
Joey's nephew, he
Where's-
worked in utilities.
Utilities, right?
Where are they going?
Was it Guernsey?
It was,
Or does it start with a W?
How do you go from Guernsey to some with
I don't know.
was it Douglas?
No, it's not Douglas.
I don't know, it's somewhere up north.
Warren.
He told me, but I can't remember.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
Warren. If you said it, I would know.
Oops, what?
What
Really?
might have been. No,
It was one of the bigger ones.
yeah. But yeah, she didn't want to work at the hospital.
I think Sheridan has a decent sized hospital. Cody.
Hello.
Are you busy?
I'm going to Casper to pick up the fridge for the wastewater
those boxes are,
She got lunch while you're there.
Sure. It's gonna happen.
there's boxes at the office for you. From public health.
Okay, those are the wastewater boxes. You gotta send them against approval. Who knows?
I just don't want them to have us do it at the prison again.
Yeah, so
That
far they
was-
haven't said
oh
anything
my
about
God.
that.
You talking about the correctional facility? Yep. Yep, not too long ago, as a matter of fact.
They ever fix that hydrant out there?
No, they asked us to come on out and test it.
Oh, is that bad one that we were talking about?
Is it, okay, so I know that one is, you talking about the one in front? As you come straight up to the gate.
No, this one is
One all the way in the back?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah. There were two of them that he pointed out that he
Yeah,
wasn't
they-
sure the last time they'd been tested.
So they went out there and said, yeah, the hydrant's broke. And they were asking around, at that time, they asked the fire department, and they were like, no, we don't repair them, to call us.
Mhm.
And we're like, Cody's like, yeah, you sent a couple of the guys out there. I had a couple of them, Todd went out there, and they get out there, there's a hydrant wrench on it, and you can clearly see that it was frozen and busted. So somebody was stealing water. Told that to Cody. Cody goes, we're not touching it. I mean, it's state property.
Mhm.
It's private, it's a private hydrant for the state pin. So, Flair, the construction comes, in, they go out there and they would do the water.
People
Well,
have cameras.
we had a business on Mahoney that was reselling city water. Trucks would go down there and, I mean, they were doing it for years. And then I'm all, then when we had that problem, when we had water restrictions, they were going through like 1 million gallons in 3 days. And, there was that trucking, one of the trucking companies down there on Mahoney. They were reselling it, so they would charge people, and then they'd get the bill, and then they'd pay the bill. I don't know if they were overcharging or what, I don't know if it, but I was like, they can't resell water, so we shut it down. So these construction companies out there that was doing the lines, the new lines for dust control, and they had to get their water somewhere. And you can't tell me that hydrant that close to the prison, they didn't know a vehicle stopped that close to the prison. So Cody's like, somebody was stealing water, we're not touching it, that's. So they were frantically trying to figure out somebody to go do it.
Excuse me.
And then
Thank you.
the new person called, again, and I explained it to them. And I was like, don't know, but you can't tell me somebody didn't know.
Right.
They were getting
Yeah.
water there. And they were like, they understood. So I told them. It's weird. I go, you might want to get a hold of. Whoever. The only other one is 71 Construction, but they're no longer here. So I don't know who they got to do it.
Where'd they go?
71. They shut this one down, they're still in Casper.
They were all over the place when they were alive.
And then Small Times opened up their asphalt plant down there. Put in a new meter, and they were asking me, well, do you prefer above ground, low ground? You know, I don't care, as long as you blow it out. And they were saying, well, like the parks above ground. I'm like, that's fine, and then they were talking about, so, we'll let you know, so you can remove the meter and take it back. I said, I'm not taking the meter back. I'm not taking that meter off and putting it back on, taking it every year. I have no place to store it. So I told him, I said, they were like, well, if it's in a meter pit, I go, that's fine. Once it's in there, I'm not taking it out. We'll crack one side of it, but I'm not taking it out.
I like those new meter kits you guys brought over there.
Which we still don't know what they're for. But it said something about Edinburgh, and the only place over on, off of Edinburgh, I think, is, Trails End.
Oh, yeah.
That's, but he got like 11 of them, and I think
I can't see why you would put those in Trails in one, because.
Trails End, they're wanting to put master meters in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So if we put those new ones in where the old meter pits are, cause there's meter pits there. So if we do that and put in a meter in there, that's what we're responsible for. And all of those trailers won't have any more meters that freeze in the wintertime.
Yeah, because they're all over there, they're
That's-
and those are boxes.
I know there's 2 that we need to put at Sugar Creek. There's already 1, but there's 2 at Sugar Creek we need to put in. But that's gonna be a push.
Not a lot right now.
Yeah, it's been kind of a hot topic, but it makes sense though.
Well, I tell them, well, it's a business. It'd be no
When we were
difference.
doing restrictions, my mom lived over there and the trails right there.
Ask Alan what happened with Watts
And
today.
the lot right next to her was empty. The lot right next to, in between the.
I was scared to see they made,
Or, my mom.
then have another,
Well, put up the hose from into the house meter and run it in water all the time.
Yeah, and see, that
but
was,
yeah, it used to be.
she is supposed to catch. I catch it all
I,
the time.
I said so. I said, you guys walk my dog crazy. If you were working so much, exhausted, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"These
So, we don't shut those off. Trails and maintenance are supposed to tell her that they're supposed to be shut off. This one is shut off, this one is turned on. But if it's shut off because there's
I
no
know,
trailer
yeah.
there, but yet it's turned back on, because they turn it on. Because the park says, oh yeah, we don't like it, we'll turn it on. It means that meter still registers as inactive.
I haven't really, but I am.
That's where she needs to go. Send that service guy out to places that are showing inactive, showing usage to see, is it on? And if it's on.
Kids are great.
And they put the wrench on there, turn it, they're like, yeah, it's on.
So
And she
I haven't
needs to
gotten copies
investigate
of the
to see, is it supposed to be on? Or should it be on? And then she needs to tell the service guy, oh, it's supposed to be on, turn it on. But she doesn't. She does not account to do the computers. I don't know, 2 years and now that
Trying to get it closed out,
I don't know.
right? Move it to another account, then obviously change it here, you know, and then I got to change my OPM one for retirement, everything.
just start
Just,
doing.
I'd rather just,
Spend more
if
time
she
on that.
just,
The R and I.
Yeah.
if I
Most
flew
of
back
us
to
during the
watch it
summer
together,
to
take
get our
it.
work reads and stuff, but
Then I mean,
I sometimes I'll get bored and I'll
because
just
the
go
other
in there
ones,
and
I mean,
click around.
everything.
So, that's the other
logged
thing
into
too.
that account.
You and I, when Bud retires, you and I may have to sit down with Jason.
But that's what I'm saying, I said, I don't want to really close that account, and just open up a new one, have them just transfer, all,
When they
you
turn
know,
on
money over there,
this water,
and her
they
name would
need
be
to be
on it.
careful with these
But
radios.
once again, then I gotta go through everything that I have, it's locked on that account, I have automatic payments,
Old
2
size
yeah, I know,
ones, they just,
it's a pain in the ass.
and then slide over and it smashes that battery.
Oh,
So,
does it like that?
because the battery is lower and they don't,
They're not paying
there's,
attention.
they're not paying attention or they don't care, one or the other.
Start billing them, so, start billing them for them.
So that was, and you know, I mean, I love Bud. Bud is like my grandpa, he looks just like my grandpa.
I know, I always say I have a work dad.
But yeah, Bud is like my grandpa. I mean, if I showed you a picture of him, it takes me a while to look it up on my phone. But
I need to.
one of these days I'll find it and
And
I'll show you, he looked just like my grandfather.
I'm
So,
so,
but I love Bud,
what's your personal?
but there are some things that I don't think Bud looks forward to doing, like
Oh, mine's only
being,
2 drive.
being the butthole, just like. We can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't have went waiting it to go through 8 more meters.
Yeah,
Almost a catastrophe.
so,
Did Robert tell you about the dog?
Same way.
Yeah,
Way
but,
more.
you know,
We're
the
going.
ones that
And in between.
he like helped raise for a long
Exactly.
time.
yeah.
She's got that
It's just
little
one of
boy.
those things. You get up there and out of it, it's just,
Have to meet my dog and my girl.
full blown blizzard. We spent the whole day in a blizzard, just chopped it dry there.
He's so cute. I wish I would've known that he even started out in Rawlins, or I would've just went and grabbed him right then.
I my little Teddy,
Yeah, no question.
that's my baby girl.
Yeah. Well, I have my one dog, Dio, but he just seems like he gets lonely, you know, but, cause I work all the time and
Yeah.
I'm big and all this
But the funny thing is, so Zena, that's her name. She doesn't get along, she didn't get along with.
Well, let's see it. I mean, bring it in, can we move and see it?
No.
Those are nice.
What is it, Stevie? What did you win? I know you got a big award.
It's the,
PCA?
what is it, Robert L. Chaplin Award for Excellence in Water.
Nice.
Congratulations.
That's
Things.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It is beautiful. I like it. It's a cool.
It's really cool.
Who's it from?
WWQ PCH, so that's,
Those things can go on for hours,
Wyoming Water.
those executive sessions.
That they can.
They do.
I know when I was on the school board that we always had them at the very end.
Yeah.
Usually.
And maybe that
usually
wasn't
do 'em
a
at
good
the end,
thing,
yeah.
because then we would be till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
Because we didn't have anybody to get back to. So maybe it's good to do it first thing, I don't know, but.
I guess it cuts down on the crowd, that's for sure, doesn't it?
I'll officially say.
It can go on and on and on.
Not usually what I'm expecting.
Did you get some other award for the?
That's why I came a little bit later, because I knew they were doing executive
I
session
was on a
first.
panel for the,
And I thought, I'll come at about 8:15, so I set my alarm for 7:45, and then I pulled up over here, and I got on the,
and then I'll be
on the online, and I'm like, there's still executive session, I'll just hang out here in the car for a little bit, play a game.
Yeah.
I care.
Why, I almost brought a book. I mean, I was doing Wordle, and
That's kind of where.
so I thought, well,
She
I
loves
got
what she does.
to the third line,
I love what I do.
and I gotta do some thinking.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I
And
love what
so I
do is
just
always
let it sit
different.
for a while. Yeah, I was laying in bed last night,
Yes.
and all of a sudden I said, oh, I know what the word is. Got
And somebody that.
got up and got my
Isn't that
phone.
weird how we think about things right when we're going to bed? I thought about something for work last night too, I thought, last night I was like, oh, I forgot to check if that person's ready to come for his assessment, and I'm like,
You
I
should
better remember to check tomorrow when I go to work.
Digging up the
I'm
whole-
sitting there for about 2 hours, I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
I hate it at night.
is the
You know,
same.
once I go to sleep,
But
I'll
it's
sleep real soundly
finding
for
it,
4 or 5 hours
figuring
or
out
so until my body
What
wakes
to
me
do
up,
if there's
but
an issue.
getting to
Think
sleep.
and figure it
It's
out.
a different story, yeah.
That's what I love.
And I'm 85. I don't need all to solve all the problems in the world.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you lay down and start, and you lay there, and
Your mind just, I think your mind takes a longer time to settle down than your body.
I think so too.
Because your mind, and I'll be that too, I'll be like, okay, I gotta sleep. My mind, and I'm not really thinking about anything, it's just going still, and I'm like, no,
I'll be so tired when I go to bed, I think I can just go right to sleep.
yeah,
And then I'll lay down and take me 2 hours or so to,
yeah. I've been noticing too, sometimes, well, these last few days, not yesterday, but the few days before that, I was watching something on TV, on Hulu or something. and
It's on.
Next thing I know, I
So.
wake up and I fell asleep in the recliner, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, I says, oh, I guess you better go to bed.
I should be sitting right now listening to the,
After 10 years, you can go on.
to the news coming
Yeah.
in. But, Ohio
There'll always be a firefighter.
put the right to abortion,
Is the Rawlins
they
volunteer
passed that.
station out of the full
And the Democratic guy stayed in, those were a couple of races they were really
Yeah.
paying attention
Out of
to.
one,
Bishar,
that's
I
where
guess
we
his
are.
name is Bishar.
But I
Anyway, so he got back in. I don't
didn't-
know what else there was.
I didn't walk away from something that you loved doing.
But I usually am just, I'm such a politic
I was actually blown
junkie
away.
that I sat and listened to that stuff.
It
And
confuses me.
sometimes I'm happy
I mean, the
listening
thing
to
is, I
it,
have that.
and sometimes I'm not very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you get one of those sponge bricks and you throw at the TV.
Yeah.
Tell them shut up.
They understand.
Yeah, you know,
During training, I'm not gonna be on my knees crawling down.
I think we are very unique in Wyoming, and that if we get politically active,
Just,
we can
support
really make
side
a big
effects.
difference.
Yeah.
And
But
which is.
I think that gives us a false sense that somehow we can do more nationally.
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah.
Chief goes, do you wanna?
Like some of the presidents we had,
So, I got.
you know, I would just think, oh, I
Everybody,
just
and
cannot bear this any longer. I just cannot, you know, but what can you
So-
do about it?
I know.
Watch needles go into skin.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah, you know, and I really think, and this sounds like the anthem,
So if
the
you-
opposite of misogynist. I think they ought to turn the country over to women.
they'll ask you this.
I don't think we could do any worse.
They'll ask you,
We're still alive,
That's probably right.
Well, I think,
like, heights,
Yeah.
I don't like
by nature, men are, until they get to be about 40,
things like that.
It's not even
I
just
mean, my
spaces, it's
experience
enclosed
with
spaces
friends
where you-
and acquaintances, though, is that when they
But-
get about that age, then the hormones start kind of kicking back a little.
Right.
Yeah.
And they become more nurturing and
So when
more,
that call comes in.
they're not so aggressive,
Yeah.
for the most part. But
Yeah.
still, you know, my dad always used to say,
Can we do that?
and he was kind of unique because he was quite a misogynist in many
No,
ways. And he was very
yeah,
patriotic.
you.
But he used to say, these soul parts that are starting all these wars,
Yeah.
they ought to be
It seems
out
like
there.
I'm there to my
If they're gonna have one, they gotta be right there on the
That's
front
the
lines.
thing, I can't do it.
Instead of sending our children out there to
Yeah.
conduct them.
To actually see what it's all about.
Yeah.
See,
I would volunteer.
Oh, man.
so,
So are you here to do something?
Oh, I'm here to
Oh, yeah.
be, I have
But then.
put in an application for the Old Pin Joint Board.
Oh,
And so I'm coming to see if I'm being appointed or if they want to talk to me or what they need to do.
oh, that sounds like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
The first one I was on of anything like that, one of my friends ran for mayor and got it.
Yeah.
And so I stopped by his office
I had no choice.
and to congratulate him, and I said,
Back when I
I'm,
was in the
and I was
military,
really
in the
pretty
90s,
young,
You're in
maybe,
the military?
maybe possibly in my thirties.
What happened in the
I'm not very old.
Yeah.
And I said, if there's anything I can do to help you, he said, well, as a matter of fact, Barbara, would you be willing to be appointed to a board? And I said, oh, well, urban systems. I said, what's that? And he told me, and I said, what do you think I know about roads? Well, you gotta start somewhere, you can learn about it. And you know, every time I go down Harshman Street, yay! I think about that because that was our top priority, was putting in Harshman.
Oh, wow.
So you know how long ago it was, but right now, it's the main priority for the schools and,
Pretty big street, yeah.
so I guess it mattered.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, it's probably viral in every community.
Look at it, it's your, obviously you have a child.
Don't give me a award.
Hey, my kid.
I saw you show up, so I know I didn't have to text you. Come on.
Are you still logged in? Do we need to refresh?
Oh, we'll need to refresh.
Huh? Probably just to be safe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do, just to be safe.
There was no cot. I was laying my head back here trying to sleep. Yeah, well, I'm gonna make my little, bring it to her now. I'm still logged in.
I refreshed. I was logged in, but I refreshed just in case, because sometimes it'll time out.
I'm so thankful.
And it'll say,
times out on-
yeah, it'll say you're logged in, but it'll time you out.
And then you're the one sitting there
Yeah.
not being able to.
You're the one sitting there saying, wait, I don't know what's wrong here. Oh, wait. I'm waiting. We're still waiting. We're waiting for an individual. Oh. Where's Councilman?
So I did think I'm logged out.
Just and she's gonna come sit here? Are you staying?
I think I'm gonna leave.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
You had us going there for a second.
Yeah.
Just a minute, please. I've had to log back in, sorry.
Yeah, everybody logged up.
It just takes him a minute longer. It's kind of like the ancestral stuff. Oh, it's almost in that sewage inside that pyramid. Oh.
I was telling Daryl,
All right,
I didn't recognize
we'll
him.
call this meeting back to order. It's 8:41. Councilman Weisenberg.
I move to come out of executive session per Wyoming Statute 16-4-405 at 8:41 PM.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to come out of executive session per Wyoming Statute 16-4-405 at, what'd you say, 8:41
8:41.
PM. Any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is the consent agenda,
No.
No.
isn't it?
We have to come out, we have to do them.
Oh, okay. Councilman Weisenberg, sorry.
I move to pay claim number GL230080 as proffered by LGLP.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to accept the settlement as proffered by LGLP. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting. Thanks.
Online voting is open.
Point of order.
Yes.
The motion is not correct on that.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
So it was moved to,
Move to pay claim number GL230080 as proffered by LGLP.
there you go. Okay, online voting is open.
Did I voted, yes.
Thank you.
I could swear I voted on this thing. Am I still on?
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is to approve some executive session minutes. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the executive session minutes of October 17, 2023, regular city council meeting as presented.
Second.
It's been a motion made and seconded to approve the executive session minutes of October 17th, 2023, regular city council meeting as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
Oh, mine came up.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 abstain. The 1 abstain was Councilmember Gardner.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is finally, the consent agenda. Councilman Weisenberg?
I move to approve consent agenda of November 7th, 2023 as presented.
I'll second.
It's been a motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda of November 7th, 2023 as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is citizens' participation. This is a time when citizens can come up and talk to or address the council and about things that are not on the agenda. There is a time limit of 5 minutes as pursuant to resolution number 2C-96. Is there anyone here that would like to address the city council at this time? If there is, please come forward and come to the podium and tell us your name, and is there a sheet to sign in there? And sign in. Thank you.
Remember to sign my name.
Yeah. Thank you, Barbara, because some of us don't know you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Barber, just hand him to Terry and let him pass it.
Go ahead and pass them, I'll just keep one for myself.
All right, thanks, Barbara. Did you get one?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and City Manager, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. As you will note, I have a couple of items I wanted to bring to you. The first of the item is probably not going to be, you're not going to have any more solutions than we've had for 40 years. Because when we put in that improvement district in North Redstadt, the Pacific Power, BLM, and the state of Wyoming did not want to put in curbs and gutters on their part of the property. And so the access into North Redstadt, if you go out there, you'll notice it's a big mess. You had a water break this last year, and I would have liked to have seen you fix it right away, but you haven't gotten it fixed. It'd be probably pointless to fix it because it's such a mess. Without any good drainage or whatever, you know, we have beautiful streets out there, but that one access is a glorified mess. So I don't know if there's money available anywhere, but you guys go to a lot of meetings, you do a lot of grant writing, whatever, and maybe you can figure out some way we could get curbs and gutters, and then you could pave that part of the street and the frontage road and they would stay nice. But I don't, it's just patch, patch, patch until you can get some decent curbs and gutters. So I had mentioned that earlier to the city manager's office, and it's just something I want all of you to kind of think about, and maybe we can someday, after I'm dead and gone, you can figure a solution out. And the other one is a snowdrift issue there on Nevada Street. I have been there since 1966, and we didn't have pavement then. We just had dirt roads. And it's just the way it is out there that to the east, right now it's easy to identify, to the east of the Mennonite church, the snow drifts. Now, this gets exacerbated by people pushing snow over there onto that side of the street, or if anybody parks excess trailers, cars, or whatever, which some of them do. Now, I know this is an issue. Steve and I have talked about this in the past. He enlightened me before my eyes were even open to this issue. And I know it's been contentious, and so I was looking at a solution that would maybe keep everybody happy, is to make the east side of that street, just there where the Mennonite church is, sort of like a snow route, and during the winter time, no snow can be pushed over there and no vehicles can be put there. Now, I talked to the Mennonites, and I don't know how much you know about their beliefs, but they've had a lot of grief with this. But you're never going to hear a word from them. But they just don't believe in making waves. So I visited with them about that, and the fact that last year they had a hard time delivering their children to the school there and keeping that road open, their access open. So, it is an issue, and it's also a bus route. So if you just that one block, you could figure out something to do about it and keep the vehicles and keep the snow off of it. One of the neighbors there that has a triangular lot, he has volunteered to let people put snow on his triangular lot there on the corner, just so it doesn't get piled up over there, because it creates problems for him too. So anyway, I'd like you to consider that and think. And if any of you want to come out and take a look, want to talk to me about it, but I'm hoping the map sort of makes it clear to you what I'm talking about. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the city council at this time?
Can I ask Barbara a question, just a clarification?
No,
Not clarification?
not during citizens' participation, I'm sorry.
It's just about the map. I'm just looking for the specific.
You can go, you can break the rule if you want, but none of us get to, so I'm just telling you she's in the phone book. I've got her phone number. Let me know, I'll let you call her, you can ask her, but we do not respond back to people during citizens' participation. Is there anybody else that would like to approach and speak to the city council at this time? Seeing none, we will move to the Old Pant Joint Powers Board appointment. There is 3 positions total, and we have 4 applicants. So I think we should start with, can we interview them and then have a motion? Does that seem fair?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask the people in this order that's on my computer, no particular other reason. Megan Cragen, do you want to come up and tell us why you would like to be on this board, I guess?
Sure. So hi, I'm Megan Cragen. I put in at very last minute to be a part of the Joint Powers Board with the Old Pen. I have about 20 years of experience with them. I started there as my first job when I was 14. And so I've had a very long history of volunteer work, Halloween almost every year since, and several of their other activities that they've done. Their very first pen-to-pen fun run, I helped organize and facilitate that. And I've seen that there's been a lot of vacancies kind of come and go from their board, and I'm finally in a adult place in my life that I feel like I can probably manage. Getting onto a few more boards that I can locally, and being with public health for the last almost 5 years. I've gotten onto several statewide boards and been holding positions on those and have a better understanding on Robert's laws of motion passing and bylaws, how those need to look, and what I would like to hopefully see some success from our old pen and good visibility within our community. It's something that I have a lot of passion for.
Well, thank you. You have a question?
Do you have a preference on your term?
I
Yes, we
didn't.
have one ending in 24, one ending in 25, and one ending in 26.
I'm not sure if I have a preference on that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm here for the long haul, so I might as well go big or go home, right? So wherever they need me best, I'm happy to serve on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and thank you for applying. All right, the next person, I believe I got a message saying Natasha's not going to be here tonight. Is that correct? Okay. The next person then will be Tyrell Perry. Please come forward. And
there was an email from Natasha that she
sick.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
if everybody got it and was able to read it before.
Hi, Tyrell.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. I guess I'm Tyrell Perry. So we've been in Rawlins for 8, going on 9 years now. And I guess kind of what drew me to apply for this position was helping out with the old pen with their Sunsetted to Slammer last summer, or this summer, I guess. I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of fun. Never really been involved with the community in that way. So I kind of talked to Tina about if there's a position open on the board, just let me know. I think I might be interested. And so she had reached out. But kind of, I guess otherwise, when I worked for the city, I felt like I was in a position to always make a difference in our community, and I enjoyed that. And now that I've moved on, I'd kind of like to find myself back in a place where I can serve the community and, offer what I can offer and, be a part of the community.
Well, thank you. And thank you for what you've done for the city in the past. And thanks for applying for this board.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyrell.
Any other questions?
All right. Thanks. The next person is Lisa Vasquez.
Good evening. As mentioned, my name is Lisa. It's Lisa Vasquez, but people call me
I'm
Vasquez too. It's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it. Just don't call me late for dinner, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I have decided to apply for this position. I've been involved with the community, many other board positions, well, not many other, a few other board positions, and I just wanted to get back involved with the community more so. I did apply for a position over there at the pen, at the old pen, and I just felt like I needed to be more involved with them because I think they have they are excellent, and I just think I want to keep that history going. I want to learn more about the history of the penitentiary, and I found an interest in it. I've lived here in the Rawlins all my life. I was born and raised here, and I haven't left. So that's a little bit of background for me. If you have any questions on any other of the board positions that I've served on, I think I put that in my application, but I'm not for sure. If you have any questions on it, I would be glad to answer.
Anybody have any questions? Well, Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So, who had their hand up first? Be honest with me. Councilman Weisberg.
I move to appoint Megan Cragen to the Old Pen Joint Powers Board for a term ending April 30th, 2026.
Second.
There's been a motion made and second to appoint Megan Cragen to the Old Penn Joint Powers Board for a term ending April 30th, 2026. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. Councilman Wells?
I move to appoint Tyrell Perry to the Old Penn Joint Powers Board for a term ending April 30th, 2025.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Tyrell Perry to the Old Penn Joint Powers Board for a term ending April 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Hold on one moment. Online voting is open. Okay, now it's open. Sorry. I must have hit it twice. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. And we have one other board appointment. I would entertain a motion. Councilman Lumen?
I would move to appoint Lisa Vaquez to the Old Penn Joint Powers Board for a term ending April 30th, 2024.
Second it.
There's been a motion made and seconded to appoint Lisa, say it again.
It's Vasquez.
Vasquez, sorry, Lisa.
okay.
I should know that as long as I've known you. Lisa Vasquez, to the Old Penn Joint Powers Board for a term ending April 30th, 2024. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. And again, thank you all for applying for these boards. And if you're happen to be not successful, we have other boards. So thank you for applying, and thank you for all your hard work. All right, so the next, my computer is something else. The next item on our agenda is the Wyoming Water Quality and Pollution Control Association Excellent Awards. And I will turn the floor over to you, Cody.
Honorable Mayor, Council, I just wanted to recognize some achievements our girls at the water treatment plant got this past month. Last month, I attended the WWQPC Water Conference, which is the Wyoming Water Quality and Pollution Control Association Conference. At this conference, I got to witness our two ladies at the water treatment win or get an appointment and win an award. So I just kind of wanted to talk about it. The first one was Carly Brown. She's been on the board serving since 2018 for the water conference, helping out with setting up schooling classes and helping water treaters to get good educations at these conferences. In 22 and 23, she was made treasurer to help further the conference, and this year she was appointed vice president of the water conference. So that was a pretty big deal for her. The second one was Stevie Osborne. She was awarded the Robert L. Chaplin Award for exemplary service in water treatment. And it's, on top of that, Stevie's been working with the Women's Conference, Connect to Women's Conference, helping women in different industries. Next week, she's going to be helping on a panel with the Department of Workforce Services, Women of Apprenticeship Program. And all this while her achievements with what she's been doing with the city and achieving her level 3 operator and her supervisor position here at the city. So I just wanted to kind of congratulate them for the city of Rawlins too.
Absolutely. Can you two stand up back there?
Carly couldn't make it tonight. So Carly couldn't make it tonight. She was sick.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so proud of her.
I gotta tell you, I was at a meeting someplace and this gentleman come over and he asked me if I knew you and he started telling me about that training you took and how awesome you were, and I told him, I said, she only shows up a couple days a week. You do not want to hire her away from us. And I hope it worked. Anyway, we're so proud of you for what you have done, and the same with Carly, so.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you guys mind if I say something real quick?
Okay.
Thank you guys for all standing up. You guys are awesome. But I just kind of getting this. I've been getting a lot of recognition a lot for what I've been doing, but I wouldn't be able to do any of it without all of your guys' support and your guys' support and your guys' support. So there's like this amazing team that I get to pull on, whether it was starting at the streets and what I've learned from them and the help that they've given us, and utilities and my treatment crew. Like, I'm just so proud. And I'm so happy you guys have given me the opportunity to be able to grow the way that I have. And I really just want everybody to know how much I appreciate our little public works group. They're great. So thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know why I feel so nervous talking to you guys. Everybody else, I'm fine, huh?
Yeah, don't be nervous. There's only 10,000 people watching.
Big addition to all of us.
Thanks, guys. Okay, everybody ready? Cheers.
I told you I could give boost.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
May want to take pictures the other direction and you get up on the step or something. Oh, that's awesome, and I appreciate your enthusiasm a lot. All right. So, the next thing on our agenda is Fire Commission Annual Report Update, and I will turn the floor over to the Fire Commission, I guess, Fire Commissioners and staff.
Good evening. I'm Becky Perkins. I am the chairman of the Fire Commission. I've been on this Fire Commission for 33 years this year. We've had a very even year. We've not had any issues come up or anything like that. It's been a very pleasant year. We did new fireman testing in June. We got a list of 4 people. Fire Chief Schumacher was able to go ahead and replace a position, fill a position. And we've done advancement testing for shift captains. We're still working on getting that positions filled, okay? Other than that, everything has been smooth. But I do have something to say that this will be my last term. I figure 33 years has been long enough, and it's somebody else's turn to step down or step in. But I want to thank you guys and all the past councils for giving me the opportunity to be able to serve on this commission and to be able to work with a wonderful team. So thank you.
Thank you, Becky, and I can tell you 33 years of volunteering is not common. It is just exceptional, and you're an exceptional person, so thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
If I may?
Yes.
So obviously, just like you said, Honorable Mayor, that 33 years of service is incredible. When you talk about people that are just about irreplaceable, you're talking about Becky Perkins. Since I've been here, she has been nothing but an incredible asset for us in the fire department. We're looking for that right person to step on in. They got some big shoes to fill, but we want to say she will be coming back here one more time. Once she's officially done with her term, we want to present her something from the fire station, but not until she's finished. So if you think, Becky, that you're not coming back, you got to one more time, okay? But thank you all very much for letting me say something.
Okay, Chief, this is from the council. These are thank you cards for the fire commission.
Oh, excellent, okay.
Yeah, and if you will distribute that, we'll appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we sure appreciate their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we will move on then to DDA Main Street and Hub Report. Hi, Pam.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Gosh, seems like it's been a while since I've been up here. So a couple things I have is I guess I was just here at the last work session. I did want to give you an update on the lighting project. We are, again, moving forward. I think when I presented to you guys on October 19th, we talked about everything that in the phases and what was going to happen. And so I have great news. YDOT in writing has officially given us the approval to move forward on the light poles on the state highway. And our concern was from 2nd to 3rd on Cedar, then up 3rd and Spruce. We have gotten written approval. The only concession is right near, within X amount of feet, near the lights, the actual traffic lights. We have to keep those consistently white. We can't change colors, anything else. And I already talked to the lighting professional, and we can set those on a completely different circuit. So even if somebody volunteers, myself, anybody would go through and start doing some fun changing of colors and whatever we wanted to do, we won't be able to even touch those ones. So they will be set on a completely different circuit. So we were hoping that they would be done by Friday the 24th, but we will have them on really close to that. We will have them on at the first week of December, and I'd like you guys to put December 6th on your calendar, and we'll just do a little thank you to the sponsors, and we will turn the lights on Wednesday, and that is the Starlight Parade, so we thought that was very appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is, well, it's up. So let's just go. Myra, are you going to run for me? So it's 'Tis the Season. You guys have a sheet in front of you about Blue Plaid Friday and Small Business Saturday. That is all part of 'Tis the Season in downtown Rawlins. And we have been crazily getting ready these 2 months. Ring the cash registers, bring in an amazing amount of sales tax revenue for the city, and it really is the final ta-da of the businesses for the years they're in sales. And so we have put together, Myra, can you start from the top? I'm sorry. So it's called 'Tis the Season. So you can either get to, and this is all on downtownrawlins.org, and it's getting pushed out. This went live last Friday. It's been years since we've been able to put it out this early, but you would go to events, and then you would see 'Tis the Season, or you just click on it. And then once you get to 'Tis the Season, you go through all the amazing sponsors. All the sponsors have links to their websites. Then you start scrolling down we start with Blue Plaid Friday, Small Business Saturday. I want to talk about numbers in a minute on that. As you're scrolling down on this, then we go to Shop Downtown, Win Big, rules, everything on there that you would want to know. We are waiting for the downtown businesses to give us their specials. So then there'll be a shopping guide in that small blue section. This is the fun part. This is enjoying the holiday season. So we are able to go through and post anything that happens in the blocks, whether it's at the Jeffrey Center or it's in with the businesses. So this is a great example of Sip and Shop coming this Friday. And the business we can actually link, so you can, like on that Sip and Shop, you can click on Red Desert Art and boom, it brings it right to their business. And there's the information. You can go to T-Tech for their grand opening on November 30th. We've put them in order. Christmas out of the Big House is on there because it's at the Jeffrey Center. Book sale from the library. Again, links. You keep going down. Starlight Parade. What we did for the Starlight Parade, you can click on the entry form right there. Super easy. Boom, you're there. So this will just go as we are hearing information from the organizations or things that are happening in the downtown. We added 3 this evening or at 5 o'clock. Gnomes for the holidays. Here's Breakfast with Santa. Here's a Grinch production. And then holiday, the actual window decorating. What we are going to do, because I think it's important to show the longevity and the quantity of what we have, is so you can see we launched this on Friday. We've already had 2 events. 'Tis the Season that happened this past Saturday. Winstep Goods had their open house and Friends of the Needy had their events. So we will just move things to the bottom. So super interactive, a lot of information, and we've never had anything like this. So I just wanted, it's downtownrollins.org. Go to the homepage, Myra, if you can go to the homepage. And then it'll just say for more information, click, and you go. So on Blue Plaid Friday, Small Business Saturday, again, this is really to my heart and this is the poster, is for every dollar that is spent in a business, 67 cents stays in that community when you shop local. And that is direct money for all of us in this community. And so it's important that our tax dollars are staying local. Small businesses are the backbone of any community, and also small businesses are the ones that donate to our local organizations, create jobs, local jobs, and make products available here. So we're having 2 different things on that Friday and Saturday when you come down. Some free gifts about supporting local. It's a statement that you'll get that you've shown, and you can be public with I've shown you're supporting local. And then we'll give out Main Street money. And anytime we give out any money on any of the programs is through Main Street money, which is purchased by businesses. We've had Sinclair purchase. We've had Bonfils Blood Bank purchase. It is, they 2 years ago, they bought them for anybody, the first 10 people that walked in to give blood. They gave $25 in Main Street money. And anything that's purchased at Main Street money or we give out in award through our programs is spent back local. So that's really exciting to move forward on all this and just ringing those cash registers for more sales tax revenue for economic development and economic vitality. So that's what's going on the next 2 months, and lots of events and things like that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the Business Innovation Hub. Just an update is we are not getting the workshop until about May of this next year, with just timing and staffing and everything that we had. So I just want to give you an update that we will be still getting the workshop, but we will actually have it over the summer months. So, I wanted it during the holidays when kids were out, but you always look for a silver lining. So we'll get it about May 15th. So we'll have it for the summer now for kids. So just build stronger programs. And then also I did want to let you know that we are moving forward for Carbon County Startup Challenge. We will have, I think I have announced this, but that's official, that we have started raising funds, and that will be launched right after the first of the year for the second Carbon County Startup Challenge. And we will have that probably posted in the next, I had to get all this posted, so it'll probably be in the next 15, 20 days and we're hoping to have $25,000 to give out for the Business Startup Challenge this year.
Wow.
Busy.
I have to tell you, I was riding around Cheyenne after dark with Steve, and those lights.
And did you went to 17?
The lights you're talking about, they have a couple of blocks of that, and he scared me. It's like, hey, look, what, and I looked, and there the lights were, and I cannot wait to see that project in our downtown. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the way it went. I just can't wait. That's so exciting to me.
The Friends of the Needy Bazaar.
It was amazing.
I haven't seen that many people.
Oh.
Couldn't get a parking space since 2019. It was absolutely phenomenal.
I agree.
Not an empty booth anywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I seriously parked farther than my own house was. I'm like, why did I just not walk down from my house? I'm like, by the time because I was gonna go somewhere afterwards, so I drove down and everything, and I'm like, I parked further than my own house. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was.
And will there be anything for the kids this year, or has that been
It's every 2 years.
every 2 years?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it won't be this
Yeah.
year. Okay.
But there will be some kids and artisan events during the holiday season. We haven't posted yet. We're still working on the Enjoy Holiday Spirit. There'll be some kids, very much like Art Beat kids could come in and make stuff. That'll be posted. We're just confirming 5 different locations to have artisan events, making things. So yes.
Thank you.
But from the kids' event that happens at the fairgrounds, that's every other year. So, but we have a lot of, the Grinch production we've had the Nutcracker for the last few years. Rawlins in Motion, a downtown business, multiple locations in the downtown, is changing it up this year and doing the Grinch versus the Nutcracker. And that'll be on the 16th and 17th. There'll be 2 shows on like 11 and 5:30, and then Sunday at 1 p.m. And they are calling for any adults that would like to get involved, actually. She just put a call for any adults that would like to be in the Grinch production. So there you go, Mayor. You can.
I suppose the Grinch part's already taken.
No, I actually thought you could be, but Betty Lou Who?
I think
did
I'll
not-
pass. I enjoyed
did-
the audience part.
You have grandkids that would love it. So, yeah. So anyway, and then Breakfast with Santa, that's a great old standby. And there's, it's just such a great place now to go and just look at everything for the next 6-8 weeks. Thank you
That's
again.
awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Pam. All right.
Now to follow that up.
Next thing on the agenda is city manager report and staff reports. And so, Tom, I'll turn the floor over to you.
All right, thank you, Honorable Mayor and members of the council. I've got several things tonight to update you on. To start, the consensus revenue estimating group, which we know as the Craig report, has been issued for October from the state of Wyoming. And within the report, it shows that all major state revenue streams, with the exceptions of penalties and interest deposited into the general fund, exceeded the January 2023 estimates that they had. Now, within our world, 75% of our budgets basically go back to sales tax that we get from the state. And so, through the Craig report, it says that statewide, there's been about a 13% increase in sales tax collected by the state of Wyoming. The amount exceeded the April amount by 6%, $35.9 million. And that strong collections are a result of higher spending in the mining industry, robust consumer consumption, wind power activities, federal stimulus, and elevated inflation. So for the city of Rawlins ourselves, okay, through the end of October, we have had a $424,000 increase from last year on our sales tax to date. So that's a very strong, that's about a 15% increase from last year. Now, we estimated about a 7% increase through the Craig report through there, but I can report that the current amount compared to our budget, we've received 44.86% of our annual budget, and we're about 33% of the way through the year. So that is an amount over budget to date of about 11.53%. So I just want you to know revenues are strong, they're holding strong. Carbon County is a little bit stronger than the rest of the state because of the wind activities that we have within. So anyway, that's some good news there. That they are projecting within the report, there's going to be about a 0.9% increase in sales tax starting in fiscal year 24. So it looks like it will continue on an upward trend. A couple things to follow up from the last meeting we had. An update on our tree inventory study that we had. We want to know what the status of that was. So as we know, a couple years ago, the city received a $20,000 grant from the Wyoming State Forestry Division to do a tree inventory. And they were going to perform that inventory, but then they got short of staff, so they told us to go find a contractor to do that study, and that they would give us the $20,000 for that contractor, and our match to that would be in-kind services towards that project. So we would have some people on the ground. Today, we have that ready to select the contractor. We have not selected the contractor yet, so that we have not started that inventory. So our next step is to select that contractor. What the contractor will do is start our overall plan by performing an inventory of all trees on non-private areas within the city. So school district, city, all the different areas, the old pen and all that, they would go out and identify where the trees are, the type of tree that it is, and if there's been history or the condition of that tree. And the ending goal of that would be is to put that on a GIS layer so that we can look at it and see where all of the trees are. So that'll be our first step. The second step would be is to integrate that with the street plan, the parks plan, and all the different plans we have as to what we do with those trees. But before we can do that, we have to identify where they're at and the status of that. So we will select a vendor shortly on that, and then we will come back with updates as that moves on. But that's kind of the status of that right now.
Can I ask one question? In this inventory, will it will talk about type and number, will it talk about condition?
Yes.
Okay.
It will. I believe it will even identify stumps and everything like that in this report. But yes, the condition is an important part of what they're tracking down.
That's, to me, one of the most important parts,
Yep.
but thank you.
Yep. So that's an update on the tree study, kind of where it stands today.
Thank you.
Another question that we had at the last meeting was regarding hiring 16-year-olds for certain areas of service throughout the city. So we have checked with the insurance company and all of the outside entities that would have some impact on this. And we could not find anything out there that prohibits us from hiring 16-year-olds. Okay, so if we were, it would be our own policy to do that. So I spoke with the department heads today at our department head meeting, and the only area that we could come up with where we could hire 16-year-olds would be through recreation, through programs through the rec center, like the front desk and those types of things. There could be office help throughout the city in different areas that we could also look at if there's a need for that. So anyway, yes, we can hire 16-year-olds. And I feel from my standpoint that is a good thing, that will help supplement our workforce in the different areas that, you know, that we can use them. One of the other areas I was asked to look into was on the background checks, because we know that they are taking a long time and that we're losing staff. So we have had contact with several other cities, and the way that the vendors that they use for the background checks, everything we hear is 24 to 48 hours. Okay, and so yes, there are vendors that would have a lot faster turnaround time than what we have. And so I will work with employers council that we use, and I will either shorten that time to 24 to 48 hours, or we will see what we can do to get it down to that, because it is just imperative to us that we get these background checks quickly and get the individuals working in whatever capacity that they are in the city.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, a couple other things then to report is the mayor, vice mayor, and myself attended the SLID board meeting last Thursday, and the mayor addressed the SLID board on our need for the design of our water system, our transmission line, the collection boxes, and the iron ductile line coming to town. And as a result, we did receive the full ask that we asked them for. And that's $735,460. And that is a 49% match that we asked them for, and then we would match 51%. Our match will come in the form, as we know, the $675,000 MRG grant that we received from the SLIB board, and then the remainder will come out of general fund cash reserves next year, or if we could put that into a balanced budget, but that would come out of the general fund, the rest of that. So our hope is to get this done immediately, as fast as we can. And the importance of this, as we've discussed before, is we feel we can identify the fuller project if we have it designed and know what we're up against in all the different areas, and we can match the appropriate funding through USDA drinking water, some fund. We could start matching all of that to the actual project itself, so that we can have a more holistic approach to this. As part of that approach with the water project, we know that we also have sewer infrastructure needs throughout the city, and we're also going to have water infrastructure in town as well as that. And so our approach from the city is going to be to take those three items and try to integrate that into a holistic plan, so that we don't overfund somewhere and end up with problems somewhere else. So we are going to put together a more, like I said, holistic plan on that, and when we have that, we will call like a work session or something with council, and we will present that to show our thoughts for council. Next week, Mayor Wycombe and myself will be attending the Governor's Business Forum in Laramie, and that will occur November 13th through the 15th, and I believe that's Monday through Wednesday of next week. So I will be out of the office to that next week. This Friday, November 10th, is Veterans Day, and all the offices and all the operations throughout the city will be closed on that day. The landfill will be open on Saturday, November 11th. It is actually Veterans Day. We'll recognize it on Friday. But we will have that closed on Friday, open on Saturday for those that need to access the landfill. I believe that's everything on my report. So.
Okay, does anybody have, yes, ma'am.
Last meeting, you talked about available weekend dates for discussing goals. I haven't got any emails or anything on it. I just wondered where that was at.
What we are looking at, and I will get with council probably through email so we can arrive on a date. Our thoughts right now is the last week of November into that first week of December, after Thanksgiving.
I was going to ask the council, do you prefer, because it's basically going to be the council, and then, you know, it's going to be a public meeting because we'll all be there. I can get off about any time. Debbie will let me off, you know. So I don't know what all your schedules are. You know, when can you be there, when you can't be there. I would really like to respect all of you that, that have jobs. I don't want to sound like a bum here, but, you know, my schedule is very flexible. But would you rather have it during the week? Would you rather have it on a Saturday? Would you be thinking of those things? The last week in November is the earliest that I could participate, and the first week of December would be another time I could, but I don't know about you, Chris, and Daryl, and Tanya, and, you know, all you that have schedules, and if they're at all predictable, I'd sure like to schedule around that. So what are your thoughts about a Saturday?
How many hours are you thinking of this meeting being?
We're going to have to limit it to 20 or something. No, I'm thinking 8 or something like that. It'll be a full day because we want to talk about everything. You know, I don't really have any definite thoughts in my mind, but I'm thinking it'll take a whole day.
I don't have any kids or anything. Saturday would work best for me, but you have kids and sports and all that stuff.
Lots of kids and sports.
That's that time of year.
Anyway, so let's take a different approach, and if you would, email to Tom concerning those 2 weeks, the last week in November, the first week in December, let's call it, or that area. Can you send him your available dates?
Okay.
Will that work?
Yep.
Everybody good with that? All right. Shake your head yes or no. I can't.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm hearing you guys, but
Oh.
kind of silent to my left here. They're all staring at me. Okay. Thank you, Tom.
I had a couple other things. How's the job hunt for a finance director? Do you have any applicants or anything?
We don't have any applicants at this time.
Okay. And then the employment, the wording just left my head. The HR manual.
HR manual?
Yeah, when were we going to discuss that again?
We will surface that. What my thoughts are is there's several items in there that are budget related that we should discuss, and so I kind of want to look at that during the budget season.
Okay.
Probably early in the budget season is when I'd like to revisit that, so that we can make sure that the budgetary impacts are at least addressed in that.
All right. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Yes, sir.
So I bug you all the time about this. Where are you on software?
So we have put out what we call an RFQ, a request for quotes. And we are currently receiving a lot of responses back each day with questions on that. So we posed over 100 questions to these vendors about things they have and they can do. And I believe that we've asked for that to be back, I believe it's around the 16th of November.
No.
21st. That's around the 16th.
It's
21st.
the
That's close.
21st at 2 o'clock.
Give or take 5 or 6 days. So anyway, we will have those back. What we are looking for at this time is a general ledger accounting software. And once we have that in place and we've implemented that, we will go in search of a report software that integrates with that, that will give us the reports that we need. And that'll be basically phase 2. So we're hoping to bring a proposal to council. We're hoping about the first meeting in December, a proposal as to what we'd like to do. And if council would like to see a demonstration of that, we have made sure that will be available. If you would like to come in to see what it is. And then we're hoping to make that selection by the end of December and start implementation on it. January, with the live date, we're hoping to June 30th or July 1st.
And I'm sure you've addressed this issue, but as long as it's not a piecemeal thing and it's some type of software that you can add different components so that all of the departments can speak to all the departments and that interconnectability.
And I do know what we are looking for is a system-wide or entity-wide software. Within that, we are looking for modules that we currently do not use. And one or two of those, like the purchasing inventory module, if we were to implement that, which we're going to recommend, we'd have to look for a purchasing agent to work that. But we believe that through purchasing groups, discounts, things that we can receive, once we have that in place, that there would be no financial impact to the city for those positions. We believe we could save enough to fill those positions, but we'll talk about those as we go. But it is an entity-wide software that'll reach everywhere within the organization.
Good, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Tom, I met with you about this. I talked to just a couple others, but I just want everybody to be aware, we're growing with businesses and stuff like that. We have a Chamber of Commerce that's not very active, okay? And they used to give like the first dollar to the business, and do a ribbon cutting and stuff. And I would really like to see something done within the city's organization to recognize these individuals opening businesses and stuff like that. It sounds like there's going to be November 30th T-Tech's grand opening downtown, stuff like that. We had Maverick open, Starbucks open, stuff like that. So, I believe it serves in the best interest of the city to have some kind of representation and acknowledgement of these individuals, corporations, businesses that come into our community. I'd like to see something done there with a group of individuals, council members available to go kind of do some kind of ribbon cutting and stuff like that to acknowledge that. So if you could, I'd like council's, opinion on that to see what they'd like to see also. But
I think I would agree.
All right, I'm in total agreement.
So could you figure some way to put some kind of group together to get this kind of stuff done?
Sure.
Thank you.
Happy to.
All right, Councilman Garner, you had something?
Yeah, Tom, when you were talking about being able to hire 16 and up, Have we looked at, do we have an intern program or of any sort?
We currently do not
No.
do that.
Would that be something we could look at doing, maybe with the colleges? You know, hit up Carbon County Higher Education, Rock Springs, Laramie, Casper, and see about, you know, because you're gonna get the kids that are looking for professional positions or in those types of fields, and might be a way to maybe get you an assistant, or you know, for just a temporary time, and that would ease your workload for all the things you're doing. So it's just an idea.
We'll look into that.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good suggestion. I know right now we are so busy and kind of short-staffed that it would be hard to take some extra time on the educational side of that right now, but I think the help that we could get, you know, from them, and I think the educational side they've received would be beneficial to both sides.
Okay. Just something. Appreciate it.
Happy to look into it.
Okay, is there anybody else? All right, thank you. So we'll be moving on to new business. I need a motion. Councilman Wells went first. She beat you.
I move to approve the minutes of October 17, 2023, regular council meeting as presented.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second to approve the minutes of October 17, 2023, regular meeting meeting minutes as presented. Gee, Merry Christmas. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Hold on 1 second. So, somehow, there was no motion on the board docs.
No.
And
I did that
Oh
off
my
memory.
gosh, turn your
I know
phones
you were
off.
very good. I was looking at it. I was like, why didn't this save?
Sorry about that.
All right, so let me just go in here and make this a motion. Here it is. Okay, so it is in there. I apologize. Okay. So Councilmember Wells, and then Councilmember Lumen, you second it? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. I was looking at my computer. Okay, so if you want to refresh your computer, it will be there for a motion, Mayor, or you could do a verbal.
Yay, I'll vote yes.
Yes.
And I will refresh,
Yes.
but I hate to.
You don't,
I'm not going to.
okay, so, Councilmember Gardner, you'll have to abstain because you weren't here. That's the reason why the minutes of the 17th are down on the
Oh,
bottom here.
whoops, I meant
Okay.
to abstain. How do I go back on that?
I can change it if you want to tell me what you want to do.
Abstain.
Abstain? Okay. Okay. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 abstain, and the council member Gardner abstained.
All right, thank you.
I apologize for that. I didn't check.
And then my computer, oh my God, it's gonna scream. Give me a second here.
Everything
I don't know why it just kicked me
Are you
out of
on
there.
or not on?
I'm getting there, sorry.
That's okay.
come back. Okay, all right, so the next thing on the agenda is, I'm to appoint 3 members of the governing body to serve on a committee tasked to adopt the police civil service rules in accordance with Wyoming Statute 15-5-119. So, I'm going to do 2 things here. One is we're gonna listen to Chief Ward tell us kind of what you're signing up for, and then I will ask for anybody that may be interested in that, and then we'll go from there. So, Chief Ward, if you want to tell us about what the duties would be for these volunteers.
Mr. Mayor, thank you, and council, good evening. Mike Ward with the Rawlins City Police. So this project has been ongoing for several years. It predates my employment with the city. The revision and rewriting of the Rawlins Police Department Civil Service Rules and Regulations. It's involved a number of different police commission members, 2 police chiefs, 1 lieutenant, 1 sergeant, all appointed by the council to work on this. We've streamlined quite a bit of the current policy into the new proposed policy. We've reorganized it so that it flows better. It's heavily dependent on state law that regulates police commissions and their activities. We believe we have a good product, and we are ready to sit down with 3 members of the council and show them what we do and why we do it. The next meeting of the Rawlins Police Commission is scheduled for November 16th at 4 p.m., 1600 hours. It's currently set as an hour meeting, but in discussions at the last meeting, we are willing to make that 2 hours. We are hopeful that whoever volunteers from council for this project and whoever is named by the mayor would be available for that meeting. Also, whoever volunteers and is selected, tomorrow morning, I am going to email an electronic copy of the current rules and regulations and the proposed rules and regulations so that you can familiarize yourself with both of them prior to the next meeting.
Now, there's that meeting on the 16th, and then is there further obligations, Chief?
It would depend on if we completed our business in that time. We would be hopeful that if we sat for 2 hours, that would be enough time, but if it's not, we would either continue to the next month's meeting or set a special meeting within a couple weeks.
Okay.
We'd have to.
I just wanted
So they
everybody to
know,
have a
yeah.
real view of what they're.
Yep.
What they're looking at. So at this time, I would like to know who all would be interested in being on this. Jackie, Tanya, Daryl, Steve. Okay. All right. Well, I have to pick 3, and I hate that, but I'm going to pick Jackie, Tanya, and Steve.
Point of order
What?
before we do that. Do we have to make a motion
You have to make a
allow-
motion, because it.
Oh, yeah, okay, to take an action, sorry. Councilman Weisenberg.
I move to have the mayor appoint 3 members of the governing body to serve on a committee tasked to adopt the police civil service rules in accordance with the Wyoming Statute 15-5-119.
I'll second.
Been a motion made and seconded to have myself appoint 3 members of the governing body to serve on a committee tasked to adopt the police civil service rules in accordance with Wyoming Statute 15-5-119. Is there any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
Can you clarify the 3?
Okay, so now that
We have to vote before, right?
It passed? Where are we at?
No. Okay, now it has passed. I was waiting for one to come through. So
Okay.
online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7. So. you
Okay, so
had-
at that gives me permission to appoint 3 people, and at this time I would appoint Councilman Wells, Councilman Lumen, and Councilman, or Vice Mayor Sanger to your committee. Yes, ma'am.
Just to make sure, it's the 16th at 1600
Yes,
at the RPD.
we'll have food.
Okay.
Good food? Do
Well,
you
we'll
need
see.
one more? No.
We may have the fire guys cook, I don't know. We'll see.
I know when we did the fire one, it took a couple meetings.
It may,
So-
it may. And if we don't complete on the next meeting, and I don't know what the odds of that are, we will discuss as a group the next.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
Thank you all very much.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is to designate the use of the funds for Wyoming Community Gas. So let's start with a motion.
Good.
Councilman Wells.
I move to accept and authorize the 2023 Wyoming Community Gas Designation of Funds in the amount of $11,322.90 for the VFW ball fields.
Second?
There's been a motion made and seconded to accept and authorize the 2023 Wyoming Community Gas Designation of Funds in the amount of $11,322.90 for improvements to the VFW ball fields. Is there any discussion?
I still feel strongly that on what I had asked about and talked about the last few meetings on scoreboards for the Rawlins Sports Complex on those baseball fields and softball fields up there in that aspect of things. So just being respectful of that, that's how I still strongly feel. So
Yes.
My thoughts are to finish up this field so we could play the tournament in 2026. I think it would be best if we could allocate the funds to help them finish this project, and then we can move on to future projects down the road.
Any more comments? Vice Mayor?
The fact that tournament's in 2026 means we have 2 more funding rounds before we have to get to that tournament. This is a project that Councilman Weisenberg has clarified that we haven't taken care of for years, and we should take care of it and then move on to the ones that we're working on right now. So I'm in agreement with him that we should finish that first when we still have 2 rounds of funding to go through to finish out those ball fields at the VFW.
Anybody else? Councilman Garner?
I'm still, I like the idea of the VFW fields because it's gonna be great for the tournament. But I'm still think that the water is our most important thing, that we should be, that the city, the council should stay focused on. And if we can put this money towards the cemetery to help get that automation system in, speaking with staff, we not only are we going to save water every single day that thing's running because it's on an automated system, we're also going to save roughly, if I remember the number correctly, 30 hours a week of man hours that is put down there, which is going to help bring more money towards our water system in the future and make the cemetery a better, just all around place to visit. And I hate to pull it away from the kids and I hate to pull it away from the sports, but if we don't put the money towards the water, within, we hit a drought season, we don't have fields the next year on any field. Look at the soccer fields. They want to do a tournament in 2025 and it's going to bring 500 kids. They don't have soccer fields. And it's a big deal. So I think the more we can save water and money towards water is the direction we should go.
Do you have something? Okay, I just want to make sure everybody gets Councilman Weisenberg.
In response to Councilman Gardner's request there, I just want to point out that Wyoming Community Gas gives a fund to the communities annually, and it's not, I don't want to say it's an expectation, but they really like to see a way that they could be recognized. And funding a water project as such, I don't believe is a proper way to utilize these funds. I understand the situation that's happening and everything else, but I think we should maybe possibly look at that as a capital expenditure in the budgetary hearings when they come forth, and give a project or something that is very visible to Wyoming Community Gas for their donations.
I'm going to take a chance, or take my turn at speaking, and I feel pretty strongly about this. I agree that the VFW fields need to be finished, but we do have 2 years to do that in. And, listening to, our manager's report about how our income is getting better. And I believe it will get a lot better here pretty soon when things start happening out south. It's really important that community gas can point at a shiny object and say, we did this. The VFW fields, basically what they'd be pointing at is the infields and some grass, where the scoreboard idea, I like that a lot better because it's way more visible. They'll get more bang for their buck, which will entice them to continue that program. So that's where I'm at. Anybody else? Councilman Garner, you had something to say? I was just,
for the adverts, for the presenting their name, I think down at the cemetery is a great place, if they could get a bench, or, there's so much landscape through there that seating could be put through, that could have their plaque and everything on it. I mean, and in it helps that many more people. There's a lot of people that visit that every single day, and their name would be right there every time they go in there.
Okay, is there any other discussion? So the motion on the floor is to throw the support towards the VFW ball fields. If there's no other discussion, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion fails with 3 yeas and 4 nays. The 3 nays is Councilmember Wells, Councilmember Seeloff, and Councilmember Lumen. The nays is Mayor Wycombe, Vice Mayor Sanger, Councilmember Weisenberg, and Councilmember Gardner.
All right, thank you. Next motion, is anybody, Councilman Garner?
Weisenberg had his hand up before I did.
Councilman Weisenberg?
I move to accept and authorize the 2023 Wyoming Community Gas designation of funds in the amount of $11,322.90 for scoreboards at the Rawlins Sports Complex on the baseball, softball fields.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to designate the 2023 funds of $11,322.90 from Wyoming Community Gas to the scoreboard for the Rawlins Sports Complex. Is that correct? Is that,
Baseball, softball field.
okay, thank you. Baseball, softball field. Any discussion? Yes, sir?
The only thing I would like to add, and maybe I need to amend the motion, is that we start with the field already that has a scoreboard for replacement, if the funds are needed and more. So I'd like to add that as a friendly amendment if possible.
Who seconded that?
Councilmember Lumen.
I second the amendment.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Okay, so you would like to, hold on one sec.
It'd be the southwest, I believe.
For score,
And it's the only one that has a scoreboard, correct?
Yes, sir.
scoreboard
I think there's a second one over there on the other field too. But it's
located at,
Southwest corner,
not as used.
southwest field.
Okay.
south, that's, I can't even spell. Field of which?
The southwest corner.
I would say.
There's 4 fields. It's the one on the
Sports
south.
complex?
Yeah, at the sport complex, yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Southwest side.
Not the southwest side of the field, it's the southwest field itself.
Oh,
There's 4 fields, so.
I'm sorry, I
No, that's
didn't,
okay.
I don't know the fields, I apologize.
I didn't know they were all named. Each field I made the big sign and
I just thought you were talking.
had to drive up there 30 times to go.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I took
the
a
name.
picture and I got home, I'm like, can that be right?
So it's the scoreboard located at the sports complex located on the southwest of the field.
Southwest
Correct?
field.
Southwest field.
Field. There's a
South-
southwest, southeast, northwest, northeast field.
just
So it's the southeast field, the southwest field.
Southwest field.
It's like the
Yeah.
name of the field, kind
Okay,
Easy for you to say.
Directions aren't the best.
I can't even figure out where north is.
I didn't know there's a lot of names associated with
Okay,
that.
so it's got, for the scoreboard located, how about at the sports complex located on the southwest field? Is that correct?
Okay, any further discussion? Please open online voting.
Thank you. Okay, online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 nay. The 1 nay is Councilmember Gardner.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The next thing that we have in front of us is the LGLP board. And so there are, let's see, there's the commissioner slot, which there's only one person there, and then there's the municipal elected official slot, and there is what, 4? 3, 4, 3, 4. Never mind, 4. I can count now. And then the special district representative, And so the way that I think I would like to do this is, and Lynn and I have talked about this, is just private ballot, just so we don't hurt anybody's feelings or whatever, and that's the way it should be. And so we'll vote first for, or I will entertain a motion to vote for these various positions.
So what I can do is, I had made the motion as for all three, and what I can do is I can change it and you can do a motion for each one. So if you want to do the commissioner first, and then we could do a ballot. There's only one person running for a commissioner, and he's rerunning. So please tell me what your pleasure is, how you would like to handle this.
Well, just so we treat them all the same, let's go ahead and have you pass out a ballot for the county, well, I need a motion for we'll do it one at a time.
One at a time?
So
Okay.
I will need a motion for the county commissioner one. Councilman Wells.
I move to elect Richard C. Grant Jr. for County Commissioner.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to, would it be elect?
To elect, yep.
Appoint, I think.
You want to, well, they had elect in there.
Okay, to elect Richard C. Grant Jr. as the county commissioner representative on LGLP.
Okay, hold on one second, let me get rid of the rest. Everybody has the same pen in front of them, so they're all the same color in front of your monitors,
They should be black.
and they're
Ink.
all black. I have, okay, and let me,
I know it's a pain, but that way we do them all the same.
whoops, I'm so
Got it.
sorry. And then I'll collect them.
You, your name?
Just your name.
Just yea or nay, yes, please.
Is it done?
Pretty cute little basket.
I can't hit the basket.
All right, so the motion passes with 6 yeas and 1 nay.
All right.
All right, so let me just fix this.
I think the motion should, instead of, since there's more than one, should not be, it should just be, I move that we vote, and then we'll do it by private ballot on the municipal elected official.
You write the name.
Then we write the name.
Not
Does
you.
that make sense?
You just write the name.
I have to have something. Save. And then we'll use it that way. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna add a motion.
Tell me when you're ready, Lynn.
Okay, so.
You getting tired?
Yeah.
Bracing it up.
I'm just tired in general.
I've got to get carpal tunnel
I already have.
and the
really bad
elbow
carpal
thing
tunnel.
on both arms. I'm gonna do the left one first, and
I gotta do that this summer too.
they wouldn't do both.
I have to wear braces every night to sleep.
Me too. My hand's totally asleep. I hate it.
Where are you going? Where?
Casper.
Casper?
Same group that did my back and my shoulder. And
Okay.
this,
Mayor, so I'll need to have someone to read the motion just to elect a municipal election, sorry.
representative.
A representative, okay? And then we'll fill in the name once we have somebody.
Sure. Councilman Wells.
I move to elect someone for the municipal elected official or special district, or sorry, for the local government liability pool effective January 1st, 2024 by ballot.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to elect a municipal elected official to be the representative on LGLP by ballot. Is there any discussion?
Okay, so everybody who, if you look at your attachments, the nominations are all listed on the attachments.
Right, 4 names, yeah.
4 names, yes.
And no write-ins, man. Oh.
We can't write in?
Yeah, those are the.
Okay, so there were 6 for Tanya Lumen and then 1 for Paul Brooks. So Tanya Lumen is the one to receive the most votes.
Congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you. All right.
All right, so the next one will be,
Can we do it the first way?
yes, because there's one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I move to elect Hale Redding for the special district representative to the local government liability pool effective January 1st, 2024, and running through December 31st, 2026.
Second.
Oh, man. Hang on here a second. Okay, sorry. There's been a motion made and seconded to elect, I guess, Hale Redding as the special district representative for LGLP for a 3-year term. Oh, man, and ending in, I'm sorry.
It's January 1st, 2024.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Hold on one moment. Let me just get this set. Okay, online voting is open. Mayor?
I'm on, yay. Sorry.
Thank you.
I just didn't come up because I was into the bios.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is the Yamaha golf cart sales, Councilman Weisenberg.
I move to approve and enter into a 5-year lease agreement with the annual payment of $22,025.
Should be 29, I apologize. It should be 29.
$29,025, and with a balloon payment of $160,138.15 due after the 5th year of the lease to Yamaha Golf Sales conditional sale agreement with the option to purchase the golf carts.
I'll second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve and enter into a 5-year lease agreement with the annual payment of $29,025 and with a balloon payment of $160,138.15 due after the 5th year of the lease to Yamaha Sales conditional sales agreement with the option to purchase the golf carts. Is there any discussion? And I do have a question. So it's going to be 5 years at $29,025, and then at the very end of that lease, we can walk away or spend the $160,138.15 and purchase them. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Wasn't there something about that at the end of the 5 years, we can trade them back in without buying them and get different ones or something? Wasn't there something about that?
Yeah, so with the 5-year lease, after the 5 years, we have 2 options. One of the options is to pay the $160,138 as the balloon payment to purchase them outright. The other option is to not exercise that and to end the lease, and then all of the golf carts would revert back to the vendor.
The lease would be over. How many, and this is how many carts?
I believe it was 45.
Okay. Yes.
I just have a typo, balloon.
Did I spell balloon wrong too? What is wrong with me tonight?
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
A balloon payment, okay. Councilman Weisenberg.
I just have a question for legal on this as far as the 5-year lease agreement and making sure we're not binding a future council with an agreement. Is there going to be, in that agreement, is there an out on that allows a future council to get out of that? Because in 5 years, there's a possibility of having multiple changes.
Right, I think there, it's just a contract as written. There's nothing in there that, there's no termination clause that's available to the council, right? The new council would have the obligation to vote at that time whether or not they wanted to continue with that deal or not.
So is this an annual thing that we're going to have to keep doing? I mean, it's a 5-year agreement, or in 2 years, when possibility of other changes come, they have to come back, because there needs to be an out on that, I believe, for that agreement to be binding for that. I'm just making sure on the legal side, because I do remember when we did the lease agreement on the equipment at the landfill, I believe we had to have that kind of out on that. So
Yeah, I'm not aware of any kind of special clause in there that would allow the next council to terminate the contract that you guys have agreed to. They're acting as the same entity. You guys would sign into it, and they'd have the ability to review it at that time.
I think what Councilman Weisenberg's getting at is that there are times when, like this council cannot bind the next council. And so without that out, is this a legitimate deal?
I think you'd have to see if Yamaha would be willing to sign that contract with a clause in there that says, hey, we might not continue through with this 5-year term. I mean, it would make more sense than to just have the term of the lease to be whatever you guys can bind to, and then, like.
Then we'd have to go out for bid again, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, but this
Okay.
contract as written for the lease, I mean, we'll just take this under advisement, we'll look at it, but no, what I'm hearing that you're asking is, it's just gonna be a contract for a term of years.
On page 7 of the It says Yamaha will be given not less than 30 days prior written notice of cancellation or non-renewal. I think that covers that, wouldn't
Okay.
it?
That's
Councilman
prior
Go-
to the end of the contract, I think that's written into like,
Yeah.
the cancellation is, the term of the contract is 5 years, as it's written, as it was reviewed by me. And so, if it needs to be addressed or something written in there, it can be addressed. It was not addressed in this contract, right? It was just written as a term contract.
Councilman Garner?
On the ACH online payment agreement, on page, or on section 5, it says termination. It says this agreement, if required by Yamaha as a credit condition of the account, will only be terminated at the end of the term of the equipment schedule or after all payments on the equipment schedule have been satisfied. If a credit condition requirement, Yamaha or customer may terminate this agreement at any time by giving 30 days prior written notice. Is that what you're looking for?
I think so.
Possibly. I believe that possibly could work. I just know there's things we can't bind, other councils do, and I just want to make sure it's on this agreement, if that's kind of one of those things too.
It sounds like that's
I believe that.
exactly what was read, that we both have that option.
Okay.
With written notice, yes, sir.
So this is basically, though, in the 5 years, it'll come back to council to be voted whether to do the balloon payment or what, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Good.
And the options,
That way, yeah.
if everything's going well, the options would be to stay in brand new carts.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
keep making the lease payment, and because at the end of 5 years, these golf carts will still be worth considerable money. A 5-year-old golf cart they don't depreciate super fast, so it's like leasing a car. At the end of the lease, you have the option of buy it out, turn it back in.
I just
You
wondered
know.
if that was up to the council at that time.
Yeah, Councilman Garner?
Quick question on the actual number of golf carts. So we have it at 45. If I remember right, the reason we have that many was because we ran golf carts with batteries before, and so we needed some on standby. Do we still need 45 if we're going to the gas option?
I believe we still need 45.
Okay. Do we use that many at a time?
Tournaments, they do.
Okay.
Several times we've been out of carts.
Okay, and that's not just because we got them we have 20 of them charging.
That's because
Okay.
we have that many on the course.
Okay, I just wanted to
During a
double check
tournament,
that.
you will have that, yeah.
Just a real quick number to throw out there. 45 is probably is where you're at. If you did a tournament with a foursome on and you filled the whole tournament up at 18 holes, you're going to have 72 carts. Is the possibility there? It could be there if the statute of the tournament was big enough. But so 45 carts would be probably the key number to have, and then at that point in time, if something else come up and we were out of carts, I would believe that they would probably do the same thing as they've done in the past and find other carts from different surrounding areas.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is a discussion for the Wyoming Public Works Standard and Specifications, and I will turn the floor over to Cody and let him explain to us, what does that mean?
I know it's getting late and everybody's getting tired, so let me see if I can get through this as fast as I can for you guys. So I wanted to bring up this discussion and look into the future and all the work that we're wanting to get done for the city as far as our infrastructure. I wanted to ask if we'd be open to adopting the 2015 Public Works Standard. And just for a description of what it is, this won't change the International Building Code for any residential homes or any construction coming into town. This is specifically just a spec book for engineers and contractors doing work on our city infrastructure. So that's roadways, sidewalks, water, sewer, anything else. So when we go out to an RFP or a bid and they're designing a project, we have certain specifications in this book they just refer to as far as the bedding rock, the pipe size, how they're gonna do it, the PSI on concretes, how sidewalks, you know, what kind of material they're gonna use. So it's just a very specific spec for any kind of infrastructure work that the city will be doing in the future. It helps us with, you know, we're not going back and forth with engineers saying, you know, this is kind of, it gives us more of a longevity of the product. And we're not getting something where we're going back and having to do change orders on. It's a very specific set of specifications for our infrastructure projects. And so a lot of cities are kind of taking this on right now, and I just thought in the future, coming up with all the work that we want to do, it would be in our best interest for the longevity of the projects that we're looking at to give it the best shot and the best product. So I just wanted to bring this up as a discussion to see if maybe you guys would be open to adopting this.
You know, I ran into you the other day in the hall, and we had a conversation, and I went home and Googled all this stuff, because I, you know, could ask a reasonable question, and I still can't, but I had a completely different understanding of what this was, but I do appreciate the fact that, you know, if we do have public works standards, one engineer might say this, one might say that,
Yes.
This clears it up.
Yeah, this makes it a definite line.
And we don't have to reinvent the wheel on every project. We don't have to come up with specifications on our own. They're there.
This holds contractors accountable as well.
Right. I personally think it's a good idea, but Councilman Wells?
I do too, but is 2015 the newest version?
This is the newest version that the state is working on right now, yeah. Now, I thought that we had adopted the 2001, but in looking in our ordinance, we have not. We still are working on the 1980 version, which is probably about 15 pages. And the 2015 book it's a book.
It's a lot better. Huh?
It's very specific on these drawings and what they're asking as far as engineering specs.
I think it's safer, yes.
I would agree. When this happens, though, is there certain things in certain elements like the elements we have here? Can we could still ask for certain things in those proposals?
We can definitely
also, right?
we can get more specific if it's a little bit different from what our specs are. But these specs were built in Wyoming, designed by a Wyoming engineer, so it's. Yeah, they're based for here.
So is it like this, I think what you're asking is like the state law, we can be more strict, but not less, and
Exactly.
the same thing would happen here?
And, you know, after talking with you, I kind of realized that I kind of could have put some more information in. So I've got the cover sheet and the table of table of contents.
It's hard.
If you guys want it, you can look through it and what kind of stuff they have in it. I made some copies of if you guys would like it.
I would.
You would like it?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yeah, I Googled it, I don't remember what I came up with, but it was interesting to me, but it's kind of like getting a legal book out, you know some of the words, but.
What version do we go by currently, you said?
We go by the 1980 version, and I've got it.
That was a good year.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the
I wasn't
1980
even
version.
born yet.
So you can see where we've got.
I got a question with this.
I was gonna say, you weren't born then.
So,
Nope.
You weren't born then.
I think it's always a good idea to adopt it, even if it's an IBC and stuff like that, NFPA, all that stuff. Moving forward, right? Is there some way that something can be implemented where when a new version comes out, we automatically adopt that, or that's what we go by? Because
I would fight that with both hands and both feet.
There's some things that I'm with the mayor, it kind of can constrain you if you don't kind of look into it a little bit more.
or sooner than
Yeah.
that, right? Because I mean,
Or at least
obviously,
be aware of it.
yeah,
Well-
be aware of it. We have to have some kind of awareness coming
Well,
like this.
This is
'cause-
something that should have been brought up to council a long time ago.
Yes.
Someone ought to caught it a long time ago, and it just never has been caught.
Well, but I'm gonna give you an example, like in Arizona, they use the building codes 2012. We use the current ones. There's a lot of difference in the cost of that house.
There is.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes it's a great service and but that's why I say not automatically, it needs to be looked at individually.
There's some ways for an awareness, I guess.
Councilman Garner?
This might not affect it at all. If we were to implement this, can this affect the scope of work for like 6 penny projects, where it could change the scope or influence in a negative way?
It could definitely make it more expensive, more reliable, more expensive, more robust. I mean, no governmental agency will put out a piece of paper saying you can do something you didn't get to do yesterday. That just don't happen. When the legislature meets, they pass 200 laws and not one of them say you can do something you couldn't do before. It's always, you can't, you can't, you can't. Well, with these things, they do get more strict. But in this particular case, where it's a sidewalk, where it's a, I don't think we can overdo it in that area.
Well, and then
myself.
on another point on that, this will help cut out some change orders. Like in the transmission line or the pipeline that we worked on, we had a bunch of change orders on that because they changed design in it. This would make it to where there's a specific design and it will cut down on any kind of change orders.
Okay.
So in the it'll save us money, but sometimes it may cost us at the same time because we're getting a better product. It's not a shady kind of design where you're just throwing pipe in the ground and covering it with dirt.
Right.
There's a specific design, some specific kinds of rock, and that's definitely going to cost more, but it's going to give us a better product in the long run and more longevity, the
Okay.
way I would see it.
My only fear was just if it changed the scope of work, or, we said we're gonna do this, but we can no longer do this because we've got this implemented.
Well, it's basically the same thing, but just a better product.
Right.
So yeah, it might cost us a little bit more, but yeah, we're still going to be putting a certain amount of pipe in the ground at a certain distance,
Same
bedding it
outcome.
with, yeah, and then your compaction's coming up your asphalt, your concretes, and everything else. This is just asking for a certain specification of all that work being done.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
the
like
other
it.
good thing about this is it gives us a chance able to go on the contractor if they don't do it to the specs. They have to pay to fix it, not us.
One of the things that really made me want to ask this and bring this discussion up is, I know we all deal with the street cuts in town, and we get into wintertime cuts, and they backfill it with dirt, and in the springtime it all sinks. This has a spec in it where it has to be backfilled with rock, and it has to be compacted. There's a very specific spec on that. So I want to try to alleviate some of this work that we're doing, because a lot of the times if we have to go back and fix the road, we have to bill the homeowner at that time. It's hard to go back on the contractor. I want to start holding contractors liable for work that is subpar and not spec. So I want a better product out of the work we're getting from contractors.
I'm all for it. Somebody's got to sit down and read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that might scare the crap out of you, but if it does, then just come back and tell
No,
us.
I've been just looking in certain chapters on stuff that we've been dealing with. I really like where this is at, and it'll help us and benefit us.
Well, if
in the
you're
long
dealing with a contractor from Wyoming, they should know all of this anyway.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna be a surprise to them.
No, they won't.
If
A lot of them are
they're
using it already.
Yeah.
And it really makes it easy for them because they can just refer to this manual and say, okay, this is how they're going to want it.
Well, and you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Exactly.
This is what it is.
Okay.
All right, so any further discussion? Thank you, Cody.
Thank you.
And the next thing we will do is adjourn this meeting, and the next one is November 21st. See you then.
You were going to mention COG.
Oh, COG is let me think about this. It's next week.
Yes,
On
next-
Wednesday. Please, if you guys can come to COG next week on Wednesday, it's gonna be here in the,
Lower level.
lower level. We normally start about 6 o'clock. It would be great to have, that organization just get to see y'all.
What time?
6 o'clock. Isn't it 6?
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
No, 6 o'clock.
And there's food. There'll be some food.
It's a 15th.
Next Wednesday, 6
Yes,
o'clock.
15th at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.